Ladies and gentlemen and in-betweeners, tonight we're going to get sassy with a touch of classy and a touch of assy. Does that even make sense? Who writes these scripts? I do. Tonight we have Claws actress Jenn Lyon, we have PR guru Casey Kitchen, and me, your favorite host with the deepest voice. So raise a glass and let the drinks begin.
Thank you for being
Boulevard.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you live, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Am I shiny?
Oh, Lord, it's going to be a bumpy night. We've already been pre-gaming. Buttons and bows and pantyhose, this is On the Rocks, the place where we're too glad to give a damn. Did you know you can get glad in the same pants that you got mad in?
Truth.
Right. Wasn't that a quote from your godmother?
Yep, that's my godmother, Teet. Yeah.
Teet? And you just call her Teet?
Well, God, what is her actual name? No one knows. I think it's Dorothy, and it's somehow, maybe they called her T, and then it got shortened to Teet. Yeah, she was a pharmacist in Lenore, North Carolina.
And it said, hey Teet, fill me up.
Hey, Teet Colbert. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
And yeah, she has many good. They're called old saws, like SAW. Yeah, and that's one of them. She also said, you can't tell the depth of the well by the bump on the handle.
Unless it's gray sweatpants. Then we can see the bump on that handle. Thank you to our sober listeners for tuning in. We love you. Thank you for holding our hair back and driving us home. Drunk texting is literally the only sport I'm good at, for which I have won many awards, if you consider community service an award.
I do.
Twice. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, United Broadcasting Network, Play FM, Stitcher, TuneIn, Satchel, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Now I'm happy to announce we are on Roku. Of course, we are on Facebook Live right now on Trendy No in San Diego, True FM in Ohio, and on the West Coast on GED Magazine, the largest LGBT print and online magazine for the West Coast, and nationally on Queer 40. Not that I'm over 40. Check out my movie news on queer40.com. This week I chat about Saw is getting a spinoff. Are you guys into the Spa film? Or Spa? Spa.
I'm definitely into
I'm into Spa.
film.
Spa 7, bring it on. But Saw 7? Saw.
It's like you're stuck in sort of like a Japanese bath, and you've got.
Why gotta be Japanese?
Well,
I'm gonna get hate.
No, they're nice, and you got to get a massage. Like the things you have to do to get out
Oh,
are
I think that was
actually
the original film.
self-care. No, I'm talking about
I
Spa.
like that. Oh,
The Spa series.
Okay.
Okay.
Already. You know who's leading the spinoffs?
Who?
Chris Rock.
Whoa! Like producing them or acting in them or what?
Producing in them, although he has a role in the Witches reboot.
Whoa!
He wants to be Jordan Peele when he grows up. Like, that's what he's told his agent, is like, if Jordan Peele can be funny and then into make all this money in horror films.
Good for him.
He's a good producer, though. He makes great stuff.
Really?
Chris Rock. He made the series, Everybody Hates Chris. He made several movies, Top 5, Good Hair. Like, not only does he do documentaries, he does great scripted work. I think he's dope. He does
I didn't
great
know
stuff.
that. In fact, I was wondering, where he's been lately. Also,
Just being super funny and wonderful.
well, now he's going to be super scary. He's like the other voice in Hollywood that's like, my high pitch. It's like, oh, dogs can hear you, but what about me? Also, from sucking blood in Twilight to sucking at the box office, Rob Pattinson is probably our new Batman.
What?
Yep. They announced it, and then they were like, just kidding. He's in the final consideration. That means that they haven't worked out the money part of it. You know this. Mm-hmm. So, but it was announced as Batman?
Wow, I never thought of him that way, but maybe he'll surprise us. I don't know.
His independent films he's been doing, and I have to give him credit. He made Twilight, made a shit ton of money on that. He took a step back and was like, let me do totally other roles for no money. He got a lot of critical acclaim.
Yeah.
The critics have got it, but his mainstream audience has said, who? And now they're making fun of him as Batman.
What do you think, Case?
She's so politically correct.
Oh, she is.
I'm really thinking about. I like it. Give him a chance.
Maybe it'll be cool. I don't know, man. It would be interesting for them to really go outside the box for Batman and cast a person of color or it would be anything.
Mother Teresa as Batman coming to you.
I wouldn't mind seeing Henry Golding as Batman.
Tom Hardy, he's my guy. I tried watching
He's already
Venom
been a Batman
again.
villain though. He was Bane.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he can't be.
He can't be the villain.
In my mind, he could be Sound of Music reboot. Cast Tom Hardy. He is so sexy.
Oh, he's absolutely sexual.
And he's very open about his college curiosity years, and that makes him more of a man to me. He's like, who hasn't been curious and fooled around a little bit?
Woof. I watch videos of him like playing with rescue dogs and stuff.
He's on that gray sweatpant tumbler I was telling you about before the show.
Gray
Yes.
sweatpant
Got
tumbler.
to get on that.
Yeah, you do. If you want to call in, the number to call in is 323-524-2599. Again, that's 323-524-2599. The show is brought to you in media partnership with Here TV. Here TV reaches millions of viewers each month, has produced Academy Award-winning films and Emmy Award-nominated shows. On the Rocks now appears on Amazon Prime, Facebook Watch, HereTV.com, Here TV app for free. Whoop, whoop.
That's so many places.
I know. I'm like, and I get emails, and I thank you so much for sending emails because I love attention. And I'll get an email from like the middle of nowhere, and it's like, I'm watching.
Well, you're
this,
ubiquitous now.
I'm just yeah. But it's just funny, and you don't know what your fans are going to connect with.
Yeah.
And I never say no to happy hour. So some people are like, hey, if you're in town, let's go to happy hour. I will meet you and go to happy hour. Probably shouldn't say that. Our website has been updated. It looks amazing. Everything you want to know. If you're like too tipsy and you don't want to go to all of our syndicates, just go to ontherocksradioshow.com. Mama Rose is in the chat room on ubngo.com and Facebook. Ask her your question. She will answer it. Please keep her busy. She's next to the vodka, and she likes to drunk text our past radio show guests. What do you mean by that? You drank too much. No more restraining orders. Hello to our Kurt, our engineer. Kurt, do you have a pun?
I always have a pun for you.
Now, first we have to talk. I know you're so upset about Game of Thrones.
I am. Well, you heard
I
me
walked
talking.
in and Kurt never raises his voice above a whisper.
Yeah, but he was screaming. He was screaming.
He was so mad. It's like, wasn't it on Sunday? It's Tuesday. Get over
It's
it.
8 years of my life. Just
Fucking Cracklin' Oat Brand.
yeah, exactly.
The king
I
now.
love
What is
Cracklin'
there
Oat
to
Bread.
live for now?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
It's
None of
heavy,
Do you remember
but
Cracklin' Oat Bread?
do I?
They don't make it anymore, though.
I don't think they do. It's too heavy for today.
Too heavy. Like old people are like, no more Cracklin' Oat Bread.
No, but like a bowl of Cracklin', it would just sit with you for...
I have eaten a bowl of many things. Oat bran is not my least offense. I love how you cut it to oat bran. Nope.
Okay, we'll talk about it off.
I mean, I wouldn't film after eating a bowl of oat bran.
Look out.
The new musical by Jenn Lyon. How would they title that?
It'd be like PFFFFT.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Kurt. I'm sorry about GOT, man.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Did you sign the petition?
I did actually.
I knew you did.
Yeah.
I know it.
Now, what's that going to do? See,
Nothing. I
the
just want my
creators
voice
are
heard.
busy because they're doing the new Star Wars trilogy that has nothing to do with Luke Skywalker. It's coming out in 2 years. The next
Sure,
film.
and also it sort of connotes that you think do you know how much money it would cost
Yeah, no,
to get
there's
all
no way it's
those
gonna happen.
people to go back and do? I mean, it would be. It's ridiculous, but I guess it's about the sentiment, right?
Yeah, it's really just that I'm showing that I'm dissatisfied with it. I know they're not actually going to do it.
right. I
But
see.
I've also heard that there's going to be spin-off after spin-off after spin-off, which I'm sick of spin-offs and reboots. I just am.
Me too. I need original stories.
Yeah. That's why I love Claw so much. It's like, yeah bitches, let's do this.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry, Kurt.
the
Your
pun.
spotlight every week. What is your pun? He's so
Kurt,
funny.
God, sorry.
I apologize,
okay.
Jen. Your short
I got
visit to
upset.
LA,
You're really monopolizing my time and bulldozing Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt. Oh, no, talking Kurt's mom, it's your time.
All right, I'll be quick then.
Okay.
I tried to take out the trash, but I think it was a complete waste of time.
No, Kurt, do not give yourself applause. Oh, Lord help us. I apologize to our viewers.
You're
You know, straight people, they need
needs
their time and
vodka.
entertainment.
He does.
No, Kurt can't even have a little sip of vodka. He just can't because then he falls off the board. Or if we have
I'm a complete lightweight.
yeah.
The sound would be all over the place.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, not really. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air, Facebook On The Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email, book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceañera, bris. I don't care, I will show up. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. I have to send a huge thank you. This last Saturday, I was the MC for Vanderpump Dogs World Dog Day. All the Bravo stars were there, and I was on stage chatting with them. We did the dog show. I introduced Lisa Vanderpump, which was so surreal to me. And I get starstruck by reality TV stars, even over Academy Award winners.
Sure.
It was so weird because we were all backstage, and I caught up on Vanderpump Rules. Do you guys watch reality?
I try not to, and then I do.
Okay, so what shows do you watch?
I mean, the makeup girls on Claws got me into Vanderpump Rules because I'm always like, listen.
So you know these crazy
I'm
kids.
like, it will rot my brain. I've got to keep my head focused on like policy, agenda, and then I find myself like worrying about what Stassi's going to do, and Housewives of ATL is my full jam.
New York and ATL.
New York and
is what
ATL.
New York. You should do a few little guest spots. Would you ever do a reality show?
I don't think so. I like to be other people. I think being myself would be just a real recipe for dread and disaster.
Plus, you are super nice.
Yeah, I have friends that are in unscripted television, like producing and stuff, and the stuff that goes on behind the scenes to get people to have and I'm so conflict avoidant too.
Really?
Oh yes, absolutely. I would rather do anything than have a fight. I'm terrible at it. I'll apologize. Like, I'll think to myself, I'm about to tell this person how I feel, and I'll walk up to him and I'll be like, do you want a sandwich? Like, I'll all of a sudden just be pleasing in a way, overly pleasing, because I can't sort of stand in the gap in that way.
Because who doesn't want a sandwich?
Also, I'm hungry.
I always want a sandwich.
I always, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. or go to bed at 4 a.m. and I want a sandwich.
Me too.
Yeah.
People say, I just got this, there's like all kinds of diet advice, which I eschew, and I made up one on the way here. If anybody ever asked me, and I would say, you're supposed to eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen.
I've heard this.
And dinner like the king that conquered the breakfast king.
Well, and speaking of kings, Burger King's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or midnight snack is there for everything.
Guys.
Because you're supposed to eat like a popper by the end of the day. No, I'm tired.
Guys, that's when it's the most fun, to lay down and do the eating.
Jen, I know we haven't hung out a lot, but you can put your purse down.
No.
She's like afraid to steal her purse.
No, I keep this on in case like a fire or an orgy breaks out. Like, I gotta go.
You just have to remember to take the headphones off, because I learned that
When I do
last
it,
time.
should I take it off?
I got up and I got...
I just want you to be comfortable, because we're talking about everything, Jenn Lyon.
Okay.
We've had a team of researchers.
Well, I'm gonna get my gum out.
Yep.
And
Okay.
my fan. Because I get hot. I'm a sweaty person.
Yeah, well, it gets very hot in here too. But thank you to Vanderpump Dogs. They have saved almost 1,000 dogs since their short time. Also, they're making policy changes in China, and it was such a great day with celebrities. And again, so there's there's Jax and Brittany.
Cute.
And I got to share. They co-hosted a little dog show. They were so nice. And Jax, he is so handsome in real life, I have to say.
Listen. That boy is. You know what? We just redo all the hits.
I think that should be your new ringtone on your phone.
Guys.
It's like, every time LA calls, it's like, brr. It's like, oh God, gotta go back to
Yeah.
LA. Want to see me on the road real fast before the show starts? This Thursday, I return to Palm Springs with celebrity and past On the Rocks guest reviewing from Modern Family. We are guest judging at Pose at Hunters at 8 p.m. on Thursday. Go see the show. You know Pose on FX?
Yeah.
So
I love that show. We're up against it, and I mean, it's really hard.
That's like Sophie's Choice.
I know.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be one of the voters this year.
Oof.
I have to say, I love the message of Pose, and their runways are good, but I've been on record. If you're going to be nominated for a show, you have to have across-the-board good acting. Pose needs some acting coaches. Casey is so quiet. Yeah, because that's like, she's like, I can't say anything.
She's like, I'd like to stay a PR guru. So.
We rep one of the actors. So
Yes, and that's one of the ones I love.
One of the good ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I mean, there's some really stellar acting, but it's like...
I love it. I mean, and also Billy Porter at the Met Gala this year served us
and everything.
all.
He's getting the recognition for his time in the theater, which time in
Honey.
theater. Finally, it's
He's
coming
been kicking it for decades.
Yep. And now he's getting his due, so that's
Yes,
great.
I love it.
But they're recreating Pose in Palm Springs, and the categories are crazy.
What are they?
So like Best Bulge, Best Walk, Best Audience Member, Stars and Stripes, all this stuff. And it's being hosted by the unofficial queen, mayor of Palm Springs, Rusty Waters. And you don't want to mess with Rusty Waters because she has dirt on everybody, including me. Sorry about those drunk texts, Rusty. It's going to be just a fun night. And I don't know if you guys have met Reed from Modern Family. He plays Dylan. And he's been in...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's cute.
Yeah.
I don't think I have, but I love.
He's like the boyfriend. Like
Yeah, and so they just had twins. So
yeah.
he was in this whole last season, and he's in the whole final
Yeah.
season. But he's been in since the very first episode. He's all 10 years with them.
Great.
And he just came out. Well, the media made him come out, and he talks about body dysmorphia, mental health. and he's
Wow, that's
so
great.
he's so fun, and he's a character. So you get to hang out with us and buy us drinks. Also, I'll be your MC for Out at the Fair at San Diego County Fair, June 1st, starting at 5 p.m. on the main stage with comic Jim Gaffigan. It's such a fun day where families come together. There's fried foods, there's rides. They do the Diva Drop, where you do bungee jumping with a popular drag queen. So fun.
When is this?
June 1st. The gays take over San Diego County Fair. I can get free tickets for any of your clients.
What about me?
Yeah, and you too, girl.
I was like,
Go to
I need a ticket for it.
Be your own
outatthefair.com.
advocate, Casey.
You need to be here more often.
can you stay
imagine?
longer?
I mean, if it's the bungee jump with a drag queen, I think you know the
I mean,
answer.
you literally would just be on stage with me the whole time. It would be so much fun. And then also the next day, Sunday, June 2nd, I'm the MC for the final day of Laguna Beach Pride with a party on the beach with my friend and fashion designer Andrew Christian and West Hollywood DJ Donna Montel. And they made me a suit with shorts for the beach. It's so cute! So come see that, just to come see the suit. Go to lagunabeachpride.org. Also, Santa Monica is having its first Pride ever in their history, and I'm your official MC.
Wow, first Pride
Saturday,
ever.
yeah. And they're pulling out all the stops. Saturday, June 15th. Gay Wine Weekend in Sonoma County. July 18th through the 21st, I'm hosting the finale Drag Queen Brunch. Whew, a lot of things to come see. You really need to...
That's a lot of. Are you gonna like live in an RV? What are you gonna do?
Well, here's what I love is because all these events are so positive and inclusive, so it's always so much fun. But because of On the Rocks, I go to my tent and there's alcohol.
Where's that tent?
Yeah. All are welcome, believe me. For Cathedral City Pride, a fan brought me a leather like flask and 2 little pop-up cups. It was amazing. It was full.
Cute.
Yeah, so... I love it. All right, let's get this show on the road. I want to officially introduce our ladies of the night. That sounds a little odd, but you are our ladies of the night.
It's right on top.
Yeah, it's like, only top in this room. Just kidding. I'm a blouse. I'm a feminine top. Don't get it twisted. Do you know how many dates of mine are ruined? Because I end up like, okay, let's turn on the music. Let's light the candles. And they're like, Kate. And I'm like, Kate. And we're both like, Kate. Yeah. And they're like, I guess we're watching Klaus. Okay. My guest co-host, Casey Kitchen, is a senior publicist specializing in entertainment public relations. Born in Miami, Florida, and raised in Atlanta, she got her first taste of entertainment as a dancer and actress, which she pursued professionally. Her love of performing carried her to such cities as New York and London before settling in LA, thank God. And before taking the leap into public relations, she became very close to her career with the FBI as a communications liaison for the Behavioral and Analysis Unit, which I can't even pronounce.
How
Did you
dare
know that?
you?
didn't even know
fucking
that?
mystery. How dare you?
She probably has files
She
on
probably
us.
is a spy. Like, this is all a deep,
Yes.
deep cover.
Yeah. Well, because we were talking about off-the-record things before.
Yeah.
She has spearheaded campaigns for a myriad of talent across the realms of film and television, has achieved great success for her clients in the acquisition of press spanning print, digital publications, radio, and broadcast interviews. She's been a longtime friend of On the Rocks, sending her us only the most fun talent. She has never sent me a dud, because I have like a little black book like you do when you're dating, and you're like, never any dud, including Jay Sue Park, who we love, Alex Ponovic, and of course our girl Jenn Lyon, and more to come. Please welcome Casey. Yes. That's Alex Ponovic.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying to look at the
Sure,
screen.
yeah,
Oh, there
yeah.
he is.
Yeah.
you're very funny, Casey, because I work with PR reps that want to be in the spotlight as much.
I'm reaching for the limeade, okay?
Just don't hit your mouth on the
All
microphone.
right.
Yes.
I'm going to keep these teeth.
That'll be the luckiest thing that microphone has ever touched. There was a porn star there last week. Oh! Who dat? But you're very funny because, and I work with a lot of PR reps, just like you work with a lot of different celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
You really put the focus on your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And especially coming from a performing background, like I'm searching for pictures of you and the celebrities, and you're like, focuses on them. Your dog is more of a celebrity than anybody. Such cute pictures, but you kind of take a step back. Are you shy of being in front of the camera?
Sometimes maybe. I don't know. I just think that, I kind of like closed that chapter of my life and moved on to something else, and I'm just so focused on what I do. I've seen, no names mentioned, but I've seen people in this field, you know, like running to take a selfie with somebody. I mean, I have taken a selfie, I think maybe once.
But it's like when you're hanging out with them.
There's
like,
a time and a place. I think I'm just so focused.
And you're also so like, not only is she like a PR guru, she's also basically a therapist. Like when you're riding around with talent all day, going from thing to thing to thing, it's inevitable that there will be like tears in the car.
They're tired, they're grumpy.
A low blood sugar moment. Like, and she's so focused on making things good for them that it's like, it wouldn't even occur to her to ask for a selfie. Do you want to take a selfie right after this, or
we should take a selfie?
No, we will be. We'll be taking guys' photos.
I don't think I have any pictures with Jen.
No, I couldn't find one.
I know, because she's always like attending to my triage war needs.
Or she really was like in deep with the FBI, and she can't have her image up there.
I'm in hiding.
Yeah. I've known PR reps to give up being next to their client on the red carpet to go take a picture with like an A-lister.
I would. Okay,
I've heard that so many times. I've seen it where they're
I
like,
would fire that publicist if that was my. I think because I come from, you know, I had agents, and you know, I had this experience with my agents that I wasn't too happy with, and so I feel like I've kind of seen that other side. And so when I became a rep and I kind of got sucked back into the entertainment industry, I decided I wanted to be the rep that I wish that I had. So I think I consciously choose to I want people to like, I always put myself in a place where like I'm the client. So what would I want? And I would probably be like the biggest diva. I would be the most difficult client. But
if you
WWJD?
Listen, but if
what
you
would Jesus gender?
But if you like ran to go take a picture with somebody, because of my, you know, unwillingness to confront somebody, I'd probably be like, I get it.
You know, I was at
like, get me one too. You know,
I was at
it's weird.
I was at an event where I think the most starstruck I've ever been. Morgan Freeman was like like he was literally like
our Lord and
so
Savior.
Nice. He was like he'll record your outgoing voice.
I mean, he literally played God, and then you know. But I mean, he's just I love his work, and he was sitting at a table and. Everybody was just like visibly gawking at him, and you know, and I just, you know, you could tell he's just there, like, you know, he's obviously used to it. And I could have easily have gone up and said, you know, would you mind taking a picture? But it just, like, we just kind of had like an exchange. Like he just went, you know, and that was enough for me. Like that's an, right. I don't need a picture.
And I think that's a measure of grace to somebody who's
yes.
constantly being looked at and everything. Like that's a beautiful kind of little mercy to give them.
Yeah. And plus, like Morgan Freeman, like it's not like Alec Baldwin. You're like, oh, he could go off on me, whatever. Morgan Freeman has to be Morgan Freeman. Can you imagine if he ever cursed out like a child or kicked a dog? Like everybody would shit their pants.
My life would be ruined.
The day I kicked a dog. And it literally be everywhere. So he's got to be on point. Like you can't even get mad in an elevator or flip anybody off.
Yeah.
He could. I think we would love it.
We'd be
like, here's another color of Morgan Freeman.
Yeah,
we'd dig it.
Yeah.
I did take a picture with Billy Bob Thornton once.
Oh, we played it.
Did you see it? Oh.
We had it here. Yeah.
He's so dope.
But that was because my client Sarah Winter was on Goliath, and it was a Golden Globe event.
That's a great show.
Yeah. And so it was organic. It wasn't like, hey, can I take a picture with you? Yeah. It was just very like he was just standing there. And
he's probably like the aw shucks guy, like yeah, sure.
And now they have a vial of blood that they share. And it's
what happened to that vial, by the way?
Somewhere in a vault, maybe.
Maybe they auctioned it off somewhere
for charity.
For charity.
Sure.
That's an interesting charity thing, yes.
Someone would probably pay a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? Well, I'm so glad you're here to help me interview Jenn Lyon, award-winning actress who currently stars as Jennifer in the hit TNT series Claws, opposite Niecy Nash, Carrie Preston, Judy Reyes, Karrueche Tran, and some sexy men's, which returns for its third season to TNT on Sunday, June 9th. And I have to be really honest with you. I watched the first 2 episodes of season 1 back-to-back because I wanted it to be so good, and I was so afraid I was going to be disappointed because it has all of the themes you want. It has women kicking ass. Mm-hmm. It has drugs. It has the mafia. It has a nail salon. It lived up to it, and I thought, I hope the audiences grab onto it like they should to get another season and another season. And here we are coming on season 3. Born and raised in North Carolina as the daughter of a preacher man, Jenn began her career in the theater before making the leap to film and television work. Moved to New York City after graduating from the North Carolina School of the Arts, weeping a lot of the time from your moving.
A lot of extreme weeping on the trains.
Well, and we're going to talk about that because we got emails about being displaced and being in a whole different environment, but still working your craft. Worked successfully in various Broadway and off-Broadway shows. Theater highlights include appearing on Broadway Broadway in the American premiere of Tom Stoppard's 11-time Tony-winning The Coast of Utopia trilogy, Larry David's hit comedy Fish in the Dark. Off-Broadway credits include A.R. Gurney's The Wayside Motor Inn before he died.
Yeah, we got to hang out with him, which is fucking
That's
crazy.
like surreal.
Yeah.
Like theater students are like, oh, here's our required reading.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, we hung up. Which won the Drama Desk Ensemble Award, the premiere of Kenneth Lonergan's Hold On to Me, Darling, at the Atlantic Theater, which was named one of the best plays of 2016 by the New York Times. They don't just say, they just write that for anything. She has shared both stage and screen time with Tim Oliphant. We have many pictures of that. I was like, I had to limit the pictures that I showed because I was like, okay, in Hold On to Me, Darling, as his love interest in FX's Justified seasons 3 and 4. So you got to work with him in so many different stage, which is.
And I met, when I was doing Justified, it was like my first real TV job. And so he was like the big dog and knew how to do everything. And I was like just trying to keep my pants. I just didn't know anything. And the writing changed so quickly and it was like really nerve-wracking. And then when he came to do a play, I was like, oh, you on my turf now. Like it was because he hadn't done a play since he was like 18.
I love that.
And it was wonderful. And he's so generous and you can really bust his balls and make fun of him, which is a prerequisite for being a friend of mine.
Yes.
I mean,
I learned it day one, because we met a year ago and it was the first time I had met you face to face. It was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be able to, because that's how we love in my family. We just tease each other real hard. Like you can walk in with a leather belt and they'll be like, "What's up, Harley Davidson?" You can't get away with anything, which I love. And he's the same way. But he's also so present on stage and those are his real teeth. Can you believe? We looked it up. We were like, those can't be your real teeth.
I Googled.
And we looked at his high school yearbook and they were it was those teeth.
Choppers. Sexy choppers.
Gorgeous, sharky, wolf, lupine teeth.
Everything's big on that man. Personality, skill, gray sweatpant Tumblr account. Jenn also starred opposite.
Fatherhood. He's a great father and husband.
Yeah, well,
we'll take it back to
that's okay.
Okay.
He needs to come to WeHo. We'll see. She also starred opposite George Lopez and Danny Trejo in the sitcom St. George. Other television appearances include Army Wives, Suburgatory, Louie, and Crashing. Film credits include Phil Spector with Al Pacino and Helen Mirren. The independent films Flower Shop and Lemon. Most recently appeared in the feature film Blaze, directed by Ethan Hawke, which premiered last year at Sundance. I've heard amazing things about Ethan Hawke as a director.
Oh, he's so wonderful. He's so wonderful. You just wouldn't believe. It's I think we have this view of him because he's a movie star and whatever. But I also did Coast of Utopia with him, and he's always been the most accessible dude.
He's very intense.
He's intense, but he's also extraordinarily laid back. You'd think somebody with that amount of money and clout, whatever, would be a certain kind of way, and we just busted his balls. We'd be like, we know that you've been wearing those same pants for the last 7 days. Your dressing room smells like a Whopper Jr.
Oh, God.
What are you doing? You know what I mean?
What's wrong with a Whopper Jr.?
Well, they're delicious, but your socks shouldn't mimic it.
Right.
But he's just actually a dude. He doesn't care about any of the trappings of Hollywood or fame. He cares about art, intention, purpose, and the way he does his life with such daring and not being attached to critical result, because he's done shit that got panned and he was like, guess what, I did it. You make something, you get in the arena, and I really admire that.
He transitioned from heartthrob to filmmaker, and that's a hard transition. Not that I've had to go through that transition. Anyway,
but I've heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jenn is also writer, producer, co-founder of the internet sketch group Playback, which has produced sketches with more than 100 million views to date. Most of them are on YouTube, and they're hilarious. And they span a while ago.
We got in on the front edge of YouTube. We built an empire of dick and fart jokes, and my parents are so pleased.
Seen on MTV, IFC, G4, CBS, and CNN. She resides in Brooklyn, but we're going to need her to visit to LA more often to hang out in West Hollywood. Please welcome Jenn Lyon.
Wow. Is there a
I don't even know where to begin. We could do this. I'm going to let you steer the ship. Oh, sorry.
Listen, I've always wanted to be a cruise director.
I'm a gracious host, yeah. You would be the most fun. Claude should have a whole...
I gotta put the blackberry stuff in there.
Bitch, you think I don't know? I got
can't
your
handle
number.
it by itself.
I know. I read
we had trouble getting in here.
Because you're like a wine girl, right?
I'm a wine girl.
Yeah,
I meant to bring my own wine. I usually bring my own alcohol when I do
made?
this show.
I can imagine because you seem like such like a natural
That she's
girl.
made.
Like she's gorgeous, but like she makes her own peanut butter from like
Sure.
bees' asses or something
Sure.
like that. But I could see you making your own.
I think of
My own
Casey
wine?
because I read Parker Posey's book, and her grandmother used to put like saccharin, sweet and low, into white wine, and every time she would do it, she would say, "I just can't stand the bitterness." Just like such a sweet Southern thing to say.
Yes. You and I have had interviews and
Intercourse.
I've well, I wish if I mean it would work out. is all I'm saying. We'd have really sassy drunk kids, but no offense to your fiance. But if you want a little enchilada, not a little enchilada, but a little
I
enchilada.
like enchiladas.
Sure.
Oh my God,
Kurt,
Kurt's just so excited we have women and straight women on top of that.
congratulations, Kurt.
We're going to talk, so all the Claus fans out there, we are going to talk about Claus. We're going to talk about where Claus has come from. We're going to talk about where Claus is going to. But I kind of want to start back to that, what I talked, like, laughingly about the transition from small town, preacher family, to hustle and bustle of New York, working every odd job from pizza to ice cream to waitress, and then being in this hectic theater schedule, which we know can pretty much break anybody unless you're passionate about it.
Yeah.
What was that transition truly like for your psyche, as well as your actor approach to a role?
Sure. I mean, I just had never, coming from small towns, I just didn't realize that many people could be in one place.
In one block.
In one block.
In your bedroom.
Living in your bedroom. Watching Scrubs. But they, like living on top of each other, I had never encountered, because in small towns, you might have like one little homeless dude, and you're like, "What's up, Larry?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "You're a resident, old vet," and you give him money and whatever. But in New York, I'd never encountered sort of suffering on a daily basis. And I would give away, like I would make whatever I made at the ice cream shop, like, $250 a week. And I would just I couldn't stop giving money away. And then my agents finally had to say, like, you've got to set a criteria. Like, you have to be like, I'll only give money out on Wednesdays, and you have to stick to it. Like, you don't need to take on the suffering of the world, which I just love to do. I don't know if it's because my mom's a nurse, they lead lives of service. And so something about seeing people in need, I grew up with, like, you answer the call. You help people in need. And it was really hard for me to sort of scale that back. And also just the sheer overstimulation of the sounds, the noises, the trying to get somewhere, looking like something. I remember I walked into like a commercial meeting. It's like meeting with different agents to see like maybe if they would want me. And that's back when I thought that people, when they asked you how you were, they actually wanted you to tell them.
Nobody.
Yeah, it was a huge agency. And she said, "How are you doing?" And she seemed so approachable. And I started weeping, and I said, I miss my mom. Like, because I was just like, I was just a hayseed,
But there's that homesickness that's your foundation, especially coming from a small town. If you had a bad day, people were there to build you up or to say, you're doing good, girl, because your parents are always going to be your number one fan.
Even though I desperately wanted to escape the small town, I was like, I was just like Belle at the beginning. You know how she is.
Well, and you did church plays, and they were like,
Absolutely.
girl, Satan does not have a dance number in this show.
Absolutely. And like my dad wanted me to be like a drama youth minister, and I was just like, I got to get out of here, But in the transition, it was painful. And my parents were always like, you can come home, we'll support you. And I was
Which
like,
is nice
I just
to hear,
can't.
but that's also tough.
Yeah.
It's like if you're on a diet and somebody says, hey, why don't you just have a cheat day today? It's like, no, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But you kind of had to come out, so to speak, say, I love you parents for the family you provided, the safe environment you provided, even the town. Coming out and saying it's not enough, that must have been tough too.
It's tough. And also you're juggling, as you grow, you're also juggling like different belief systems too, which was very difficult because my dad's a minister, my papa was a minister, my uncle's a minister. Like we are dyed in the blood, man. Like we are just washed with the blood of the Lamb. And so when you start to question those things, what does it mean about what your family is based on, like the cornerstone of your family? Right. And so it was rough because the city makes you do that. All of a sudden you're surrounded by all these different ideas and you're like, wait a minute, maybe the way I grew up, maybe these sort of tenets aren't what I believe in. And then you go back home and you test it out, and what does that mean? And it was rough, but like I credit New York with like just kind of saving my life, man, and making me tough. My mom is always like, when I go home, because if somebody cuts her off, I get crazy, you know, like I get like super New York. And she's like, listen, she was so sweet before she moved to New York, and now just look at her. The F word. Like, it's the most for her.
Well, Jenn, one of the comments I got via email was your love of the LGBT community.
Hell yeah.
You have been a strong supporter. You go to prides with your girls.
Hell yeah. And I also want to say, I was thinking about it earlier today. Like, I auditioned for a community theater show in like High Point, North Carolina when I was like 14, going on 15.
Do you remember what the show was?
Godspell, of course. Oh. And I was going to play Mary Magdalene because I looked like I was 34.
Turn back, oh man.
Forswear thy foolish ways.
Stephen Schwartz, reboot.
And my dad gave me permission to do it, and it was like a little bit scandalous. But there in the theater, I met my first outwardly gay people. Like, the church is littered with closeted gay people, but they couldn't say anything. But I met my first like openly gay people, and it like
in the theater. You can't be serious.
I mean, well, you should look. They're there, and it blew my gourd. And it's the only reason, I think, because I went to predominantly black high schools, and I got to be in the theater around gay people. I think gay people and people of color are the only reason that anyone is cool.
I think that is such a strong statement, and I 1,000% agree.
Because they've had to fight the hardest.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But they come back with this personality.
Yeah.
And these one-liners that
It was
I'm not quick enough.
I mean, it was like the guy that played Jesus in the show, his name was Charles, and he was so just whip smart. And I remember one time he said to me, he said something like, he said something kind of like mean. It was like a little cut, and I was like, but he said, darling, don't worry. If you can't just be sort of group funny, you can be devastating. And I was like, oh.
I'm writing this down.
Like, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to always, of course, like, you don't want to shame someone in a group, but it was, it was like Noel Coward. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
Like, Oscar Wilde is just the king of sort of devastating cuts.
But there was that sense of survival too,
Absolutely.
and there still is that sense of survival in smaller cities in the U.S., even in bigger cities. Mm-hmm. So how do your parents deal with that you are so open? Also, your character has experienced everything. We saw you have relations in a hospital. That was so graphic.
I fucked a dude right out of a coma.
I mean, I've done worse. He was in the coma.
Javier, dude, tell.
While you were sleeping was not just a Sandra Bullock movie. So, do they watch the show?
They do. I mean, I begged them not to have church people over to watch the pilot because it was pretty extreme, more extreme than the rest of the episodes.
Yes,
I said,
really was.
I said, Mama, please. I said, please don't have a party and don't invite the church people. And she was so excited, and she said, oh, Jennifer, I know it's not that bad. And in the middle of the pilot airing, she called me and she said, well, Stu and Marge Carroll left. And I was like,
was it a key party?
It just, absolutely not.
How dare you? Was it an Irish goodbye when they just left? Or
I think they just bowed out gracefully. But my parents, thank goodness, because it could have been terrible for me. But they have always been able, I mean, my dad is like, I wish you could play an icy lawyer, please. Just sort of a high-necked Victorian icy lawyer. Like, why can't you do the alienist? Why do you have to be like tits out and slutty all the time? He doesn't say that, but they allow me to play the characters I'm going to play and support me, and it's stunning.
And you have played such a wide variety of characters. Mm-hmm. Moving from small town to bigger town, you had success on Broadway, off Broadway, and then success on TV, of course with Justified, and then St. George, and then now with Claws. The billboards are everywhere. Have you driven around to see the billboards?
We were talking about that
today. I didn't
today.
even see one. I texted her and I was like, do we have billboards?
It's on buses. I saw 3 buses today on the way to the station.
I will say, though, I was at the shoot when they captured
that shoot is beautiful. Kurt, can you play the season 3? It's with the palm trees in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Play the picture, Kurt. Yeah.
Play the picture, Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt, goddamn
I love Kurt. I could say, oh, can you show a picture of RuPaul? And be like, Is that a
I
company?
keep trying to lean forward so I can see and I know I'm gonna hit my face on this at some point.
And in fact, last
That's
year,
it.
yeah, there it is. This photo shoot, unbelievable,
Stunning.
and it captures each of you as a character, but
Yes.
it captures what I haven't met everybody from the cast, but
Yeah.
it captures what I imagine.
Let me say I had that luxury of being able to be there, and these women, like it was just such a long day. Like we
Yeah.
all just worked so hard, but I mean they have such a strong bond between. I mean they were all like, for all their individual shots, they were all
We
like
yell.
screaming for each other and yelling and encouraging each other. Like there's no animosity, there's no jealousy. Like they really are a family. They love each other. The production is really great. You know, everybody like, I mean, I'm not being biased, but you know, but she looked so amazing. This, like, you look the best you have ever looked in your life.
Oh, Casey.
She does.
It's really sweet.
She
I
looks
mean, you know, it's a
amazing.
wig on a wig. There's a lot going on there.
Girl.
No, I'm saying like you right now in this moment, like, but especially because, and that like comes from the inside, because I could see it in her photos.
The whole
Yeah.
cast
pull
has a
focus.
confidence.
Oh, Casey.
And I
you're
love
so
all those
sweet.
women. They're all so nice, and I especially love Karuchi.
Well, I called Casey down because I'm notoriously bad at photo shoots. I cry every time. I'm just bad at. I have a lot of confidence in my craft. Like, if you want me to
Yeah.
walk into a potted plant, like I can do it 3 times and you'll
Yeah.
love it.
You want me to be funny? You want me to be sad? You
Whatever.
want me to,
But moving, but in still photos, I just have so much.
Still photos are hard. You
Yeah.
know, it's interesting because I have so many clients that, and people just think like, oh, you do this for a living, you're on camera. Like,
It's very different. You're pursuing an
photos-
objective on
And
camera.
photographers
And
don't
you're
direct.
moving,
Like, am
you
I doing
know?
good? Am I doing bad? Can I get some
Yeah.
feedback?
Yeah,
Can
and you're
I-
like, should I do this? Should I do a thing? Should I? Because like girls, I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, we do this thing where we do this face with like a lip, and it's like fuck you, but also fuck me, but also fuck you. Like it's a very we like do this thing which makes me feel double stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I sort of doing this arm and this thing? It's not what I like.
And sometimes it's things that you've heard, like do this trick or something.
Oh
and
yeah.
it's not.
Oh, the
we-
Tyra, the
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the
Oh, what,
tongue at the
turtle?
back of the mouth.
What
what's
was
that?
it? Turtle and
wait.
Turtle time.
My
Turtle
makeup
time.
girl says something. She yells something out because when I laugh, I'm like, I'm just like a double chin fantasy. And she's always like, turtle, what'd she say? Turtle, not lizard. Or
turtle,
something.
not lizard.
Yeah, because
She's
you're
like,
supposed to overforce your head
supposed to
forward
put
so
an
that it
orange
looks
there, go up, over, and like down. But then I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
People are being.
But it's crazy because the camera does like if you're tired, if you haven't eaten. I mean, and I've learned this just from being in. Like I can always tell when everybody gets to a point where they start to.
Oh, yeah, you hit a
And
wall.
I'm like, okay, hold on. Have you eaten today? Do you need some alcohol? What do you need? Like I will get you because you just the camera just shows, especially still photos for some
Yeah.
reason. It shows every insecurity.
And it just feels dumb.
everything. Yeah.
But I have to say, as a cast, you guys came together. Like season 1, you guys brought it first, second episode, but there is still even more of a confidence through season 2, and in this photo shoot, you can see. Now, are the producers there telling you like, or is it just the photographer? Or
Well, we had a new photographer this year, and he was like so dope.
He was great.
He had such a gravitas that we were all, it just felt like we were in good hands, and they had a fan. Like
It's
we've been
very
shooting
calm.
like outdoors
in the heat?
in the heat in a parking lot. And like this season, it kind of got bougie because we're bossing up as characters. And I think that
and
was
the
helpful.
audiences just keep growing and growing,
Yeah.
and you guys are having fans. I love when people do their own claws nails and they hashtag claws TNT.
Oh my God.
Closet.
I
I
look
love
at those
it.
all the time. I'm like I secretly troll the Facebook groups.
Yes.
And I like stuff. Like I just love it. It makes me feel great because it's such an empowering show, you know?
And even the women that come into the nail salon on the show are from all different walks of life
Yes.
too,
Absolutely.
which I love. Kurt, since we're talking about season 3, can you play the trailer for season 3? Yes. No, Kurt. No, Kurt.
Kurt, Jesus Christ.
Jesus
told
Christ, Kurt,
you
you've never
Kurt
seen
needs
a show about
vodka.
women in a salon?
Kurt, your misogyny
He
showing.
hates us right now.
We gotta think bigger. There is so much money to be made. Sometimes you gotta do a little bad to make good.
You can't just run up in there like you ran.
It literally rolled like a donut.
Ow, I
Kurt,
hit-
what's
I hit the
happening?
microphone again.
Kurt, can you please replay it from the beginning? Yes. Because we're having technical...
It's in my blood. But we gotta think bigger.
It literally rolled like a donut.
I was like, what is that?
So much money to be made. Sometimes you gotta do a little bad to make good.
You can't just run up in there like you Rambo.
Me and my girls are gonna run Florida.
Y'all, this is not swamp appropriate footwear.
Claws, new season June 9th on TNT.
I do have to say, most of the clips usually end with one of your one-liners.
A little button.
Yeah.
A little button for you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Claws, and then we're also going to get into some of your theater work. Also, All My Children. Oh, yes.
Wait, what is all my? Wait,
Oh, there's
That's
a
the
story.
first thing I ever did on
Which-
camera.
I didn't even.
Okay,
know
we're going
this.
to talk about All My Children right now.
He is thorough in his.
Oh
I
my
think you
God.
worked for the FBI.
Okay.
He's so
No,
thorough.
here's the thing. I love my job so much because I get to find out more and more and more. Because there's a whole actor shift, and I've heard this many times
Handwritten notes. Do you see?
Oh, God.
and printed.
and printed.
But from stage to TV film, which we're like, oh yeah, it's a difficult transition. But even like you were mentioning, Justified was like all these cameras swinging around. It's like, can I act to? In fact, I think you were quoted. This is how much research I do. You don't play to the balcony. You play to the cashing place
Oh,
across the
yeah.
street.
I mean, I was just used to I was just larger than life. I mean, I've got a giant face and self, and you're playing like iconic characters. Like I did Born Yesterday, I played like iconic characters. And
also, the women, His Girl
Oh,
Friday.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And so when All My Children came,
And because soap opera's like, okay, one take, let's go.
yeah, and so I walked in there and we did rehearsal, and the director came up to me and he said, "You're yelling," and I said, in
Yeah.
all my like the verve of youth, I said, "Am I, or is everyone else whispering?"
I love it.
And
Hard to do with the set of All My Children.
And he said, well, they are, but it's because that you're playing it small, like the table. And I said, I can't hear my cue. And he was like, well, can you feel it? And I was like, yes. And so then I tried to feel it, and I fucking did the largest acting. I basically just repeated things. My friend Casey and I we do it all the time because I just repeated words. Like I was sort of I was a lawyer accusing this guy on the show of a rape or something, and he said, he said, I'm not a predator, and I was supposed to say predator, which I would do like that now. And instead,
The giggles right now.
I know. And instead, like the camera's right here, and I was like, predator. Like they kept cutting. I yelled, and then at the end, finally we got. Thank you. Finally we got it.
I was like, where did that fart sound?
I literally thought
it was real.
Casey joined in the game. I could
I did
never imagine
not.
Casey doing that.
She never
would
would.
rather drop dead than
Yeah.
ever issue a sound like that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll do it on
Thanks
command.
a lot.
Next time
Kurt.
you're at her house, we need to put like a little speaker and just
We're gonna get it.
And we'll just like every 1 hour shove people over. It's like, it wasn't me.
I take a fart machine on set because we love farts so
Joanne
much.
Worley does the same thing. She brought one to the show. I was so appreciative.
We love it. Oh, but anyway, so I'm supposed to leave. I'm supposed to leave because I don't want to represent him. And he's supposed to put his hand on me because I say, I'm leaving. And then he puts his hand on me. And I'm supposed to say, alone. Right? Which is how one would do it. And instead, just like Predator, he put his hand on me. And I was like, hello! Like, it was I just didn't know.
When you're big for soap opera,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen.
Exactly. But it's just the worst. I just hope someone...
It's your theater training because when you're a theater actor, it's so hard because you have to you have to
Yeah.
have the emotion. You have to speak. You're speaking to an entire.
And the script to me seemed, I was like, I
Yeah.
just didn't get the tone. I was like, oh, this is broad, right? This is very broad what we're doing, but it's not. It's VV intimate. You got to play it intimate. You got to do whisper acting.
But on theater, though, you have to create that intimacy. Death of a Salesman is one of the hardest plays to do because,
fucking
especially for
forget
the
about
wife, there's that intimacy that you have to get
Yeah.
while still playing that. And that's
Yeah.
probably being a
Although
great actress on stage.
everybody's mic'd now, so it's a
Wait.
different world.
With their
Speaking
lines
of-
being fed to them.
Earwigs, look out.
Speaking of theater, have you guys seen Fosse Verdun on FX?
Have I? Is the Pope Catholic?
Do we want to talk about this honestly, or do we need to
Do
be
you hate
PC?
it? Be honest. Do you love it? Do you hate
I
it?
wanted it to be so much. And when they first started, not with Chicago or Cabaret, but with Sweet Charity, a soundtrack that I had listened to over and over again, I was so excited. And then I was so disappointed.
Why?
It looked like a History Channel recreation documentary, and that's all it was. Actors
Are you
great.
talking about production value?
Something was just missing.
Because it got me. I'm hooked.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in it.
I like
Maybe
it for
because of the acting.
The acting, yeah, the storyline. It's fascinating.
I think Michelle Williams is,
Oh, she is Gwen Verdun.
honey, dig me a hole, a me-sized hole, and put me in it.
Let me say this: I bet you she'll win the Emmy.
Absolutely. Alexander does not. He's not feeling it.
I love Michelle Williams. I think she's so...
I get my own entire bottle of vodka if I am right.
Oh,
Okay.
done, girl.
Deal.
You
then
get
you
it anyway.
Then you just have to wheel me out of here.
Sure.
Because
You don't like it. You don't like what she's doing? Are you out of your gourd?
I just feel, but it's not from them because they're all committing 1,000%. But there's just this. There's something missing. I don't know if it's the script. I don't know if it's an energy. If they try to play it laid back, there's just some spark that's totally missing.
For you.
And it was so intense that it was actually depressing.
I think.
Oh, honey.
I think it does shine. It's more. It's a darker side. I think it does.
Yeah, but you
show
love
the
all
darker
that
side.
I
jazz.
love
You
dark.
live for the dark.
Yeah, I love dark.
He loves it.
But like Feud was so great,
Yeah.
and it's just it's some passion. I don't feel, and I don't even know who the director is. I just feel that there wasn't a passion and reverence for the actual story
For the source material?
itself. It's like I just felt it's like let's make a glossy piece that's going to get nominated, and I hate when I feel that from a film.
Yeah.
Wow, man, we have different ideas about this. But also, that's great art. It's polarizing.
Yeah, I do enjoy it, but I will say I like a lot of the dancing is, I don't know, maybe that
The
a lot of
recreations are
dancing's
spot
not-
on, and I love that they didn't.
You think it's not coming from a dancer?
Oh,
Yeah.
they literally supposedly frame for frame.
For who's got
recreated.
the
I was like, what's Kurt doing over there?
Oh,
Kurt?
she's like, girl, you have been out of it for a while. She's like, I hit my head on a microphone. I don't know that that's a camera. No, but the recreations, and what I loved about, they didn't just play the soundtrack. They didn't play Liza singing Cabaret.
Right.
They had a recreative person interpreting it. So I actually liked the performance scenes more than anything.
Yeah, I think the acting is really good.
I think it is
But
motherfucking top shelf. man.
Yeah.
But you're talking about. That's
The
not really in the
acting,
actor's
they're
control.
doing the best
You're
that they
talking
could
about a
do.
production value. You're talking about a camera POV. You're talking about something.
And just like there's this energy that's just missing. And I I watched 5 episodes in a row. That's how much I wanted it to work. And it just couldn't.
Boy.
I think
really
I
like
like it because it, obviously Michelle Williams is so amazing, but also, like Sam Rockwell, who's playing Fosse, like
He's so great.
I think so many people think of Fosse because of like, the choreography and how great, like, and Chicago is still running. It closed and then it
Yeah.
reopened, and it's like the longest running Fosse show. I think it might even be is it Phantom of the Opera that's the longest running show on Broadway?
Phantom is the longest.
Phantom and then
Phantom,
Chicago.
and then
yeah.
Chicago.
Nerd alert.
I know, right?
Both of us.
Wait a minute. During your hiatus, why aren't you in Chicago?
Oh.
Email that one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lip sync battle, by the way, fans.
Because I
If
don't-
that
You
makes
would be
sense.
I'll be
a
li-
fabulous
be
rock
on-
star.
Sure, I'd be wonderful.
Unbelievable.
But let me tell you what,
See
like this is very.
This is what a publicist does.
You're welcome, Casey.
Yeah.
This is why she sends me the good people.
But also, like,
You in
I'm
Chicago
emailing
would
myself.
literally.
sure. I mean, nobody's asked me if I want to be in Chicago, but it's nice. Email yourself.
Speaking of
Casey.
emails, your agent just emailed me. Hi, Susie.
But that's it. Would you go back to Broadway?
Of course, I'd go back to theater, but the
8
thing
shows a
is,
week?
like, it's a grind, but I do love it. I love the immediacy, but also, like, we just ended, and I feel like everybody's like, "What's next?" And I'm like, "A fucking nap." Can I just
Take a
take
nap.
a moment?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because also, if we get another season, I'll be going right back, and I got my man and my dog. Like,
She's
if
getting
you go into
married.
a show, I'm getting hurched. If I'm in a show, you know that grind. And if you're in previews and tech, you're just never home.
Yeah, that life is so. It's 8 shows a week. You get Mondays off.
But
Yeah.
rehearsal before it's 10 to 6. Then you go
Yeah.
into previews. It's 10 to 6, and then the show at night for weeks. Tech is 10 out of 12. Like it's
But your filming experience was also unique in that you guys were kind of all transplanted.
Yeah.
So you filmed together. You became amazing friends. You guys even vacationed together at an all-inclusive resort. This is how much research I got the bill for that. I'm just kidding.
We did. We're like crazy about each other. We text each other all the time.
But that's almost like doing that show with that schedule, because every actor knows when a project is like either taking a break, there's that depression that comes whether you have family and it has nothing to do with family or your own life being good enough. There's just that
I got it
performance.
2 weeks before we ended. I was like, because I'm not great with change, you know what I mean? And also I'm so...
And you gave up Diet Coke. That's a big change.
Well, it's a lot. And it changed my personality. But I've always been sort of acutely aware that like things will never be the same. It doesn't matter. We can be whatever, but like I want to hold on to it.
I'm not obviously on your level, but I hate change so much. Like graduation, even from 8th grade, I was hyperventilating because it was that idea of change and it's never going to be the same.
It's never going to be the same. And even if it's better, it's like I don't preclude that. I'm just like, can we just stop and memorize it? Can we stop? Can we stop? It's something about the forward march of time that gives me the fucking blues, man.
But I think you guys know on this TV show, you guys have a chemistry that is not seen on TV in today's age. The friendship that you guys have, and you guys couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
Like you guys are painted that way, so to speak, but in reality, the projects that you ladies have come from, the fact that the show is driven by women, the men are super talented and super sexy, but it's like,
and we love them. Shout out Kevin, Harold, Dean, Jason, Toby. It's Evan. Shit, I said Toby.
What? And I was going to ask, like, what's the energy with the men on set? Because obviously, it's all about the look of the women and the nails and like what's happening.
We are crazy for them. Like you wouldn't believe. It is like summer camp when everybody's on set together. Like when Kevin's there and Harold's and everybody's in town at once and Jason's there. All we do is mess with each other. We're like, Jason, do dances. We make Jason do dances. We make Kevin. Kevin is an acting machine. You can be like, okay, Kevin, you're in a Western. There's a bad guy in front of you.
Oh my God, I love
You're
this.
afraid of lizards. Your mom's over there. Like you can give him so many things at once and you'll be like, and action. And he can play everything.
I love that.
Like within one line. It's like a bunch of little kittens in a brown paper bag. And we just relentlessly, and when Jack's there, oh my God, all we do is just mess with each other. Oh, Jack. I know. He's a little sex symbol for the people.
Oh, for many people.
For many
he
people.
is.
He's sexy, but also he's so like real and awesome and hates any of those trappings too. You know what I mean? Like he just is, he's just, all the dudes are just so dope.
So let's talk about the evolution of Claws. Season 2 was so different. It was different stylistically. There was like artistic episodes. There was musical interludes. Characters kind of changed. It had a whole different color than season 1.
Yeah.
Was that a collective choice? Did you know that was coming? Was there a production team shift? Why was it so different than season 1?
I'm gonna tell you what, bitch, we don't know what's coming. Like
Really?
when people, like I have friends that are like, hey, can I play this role? My agent just got this breakdown. And I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a talk show host? We don't know what's coming. We get the script like a week before and we are so surprised every time. And there's a shift. I mean, the production team didn't shift. It's our same peeps. Although we got Dale Stern this season, who's a wonderful supervising director. He's from Veep, and he's so funny and so good. But I think that, unlike us, the writers are not afraid for these characters to grow and change. Like I don't want them to, of course. I'm like, we got to be loyal. We got to do this. But like, alliances shift. People shift. Are you going to choose your family? Are you going to choose your girls? Are you going to choose your lover? Are you going to choose not to be involved in this life of crime, even though these are your girls? What does money mean to you? What does ego mean to you? Like they really tackle all the difficult issues, man.
And every character had to go through some huge change. Even Carrie Preston with that duality. I was like, wait, what?
She did such a good job that we were like
was a
live
little scary.
tweeting and watching the show.
A little scary to watch.
It was scary, and people were like, I don't know what bitch they got to play her sister, but it straight up looks like her.
Yeah,
and we were like,
saw that.
It is.
I was like,
she's brilliant, like beyond measure. All the girls. Like, what do you see this season? Like when you see the shit that Judy Reyes is pulling out, and Rooch and like you'll be like, I mean, we ain't gonna get no awards because we're a drama and not a comedy, but whatever. They should.
But there's a lot of gamble in that too. That means the network believed in you guys so much. It's like, okay, we're gonna push this. Since we did this, we're gonna push it times 10. That's a huge gamble because it could have not worked.
Yeah, man. But you gotta risk it. You gotta risk speaking out, like when I think about the abortion episode in season 2. They really took a chance because like you can alienate a lot of people by having a character make that choice and also be okay with it. It didn't cause her tremendous pain. It was a decision she made. It was a health procedure and she made it. And there was I thought we would face a lot of backlash.
I thought that too.
And we didn't. And I was like, huh.
You know, it's funny, we're talking about Fosse, and with all we're going through right now, politically, it's like there's only one man that can tell a woman what to do with her body, and that's Bob Fosse.
That's Bob Fosse.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down. It's in my data banks.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because you have been very political.
Sure.
And we know there's that fight. Do entertainment people have a right to be political? Is it damaging for your career?
Carrie and I were just talking about that.
GA Heartbeat bill that you've been talking about, as well as what's going on with Alabama. Is that a decision you make with your PR rep? Like, I'm going to go ahead and come out and say this. I'm going to tweet this. This is what we're going to do.
I will say there have been late night texts with this motherfucker. Like, I know she's on California time, but it's like 2 a.m. and I'm like,
oh, well, she's crushing her wine grapes.
Honey, she's crushing the grapes. She's adopted service dogs. But I mean, we have been texting constantly because I'm like, what am I allowed to say? Like, this is a women's rights issue. This is a human rights issue. What can I do? Casey, you speak to it because she is so diplomatic. It's better than me.
Well, can we make this like a 2-part?
Absolutely not. It's one or the other.
When was the inspiration? You're like, okay, I want to be public about this, and then let's talk about what that reaction was and what it does to somebody's career. Because it actually is a 2-part process. Because some people just go and they start doing their own stuff.
I've been a part of an organization called A is for maybe like 4 or 5 years. That's called Artists for Reproductive Rights. And so I do their Broadway Sings for Women. I just am a staunch supporter of, I just believe if a woman cannot manage her own fertility, she cannot control her own life. That's just basic. And Casey, but when these new bans were passed, like they've been chipping away at it for a while with like making centers have to be like hospital compliant, making like asking for hallways to be a certain width. Like, we know what it's about. But then when these bans, like this sweep started to happen, that's when I had to get Casey on board and be like, what am I allowed to do? Because I want to fucking scream. And we're going to let her scream. But we're going to do it in a very, because, you know, it's one thing, you know, when, you know, as a publicist, like I'm not somebody that controls people. It's not my job to control people. It's my job to help, you know, elevate them and project them forward. And she's in this unique position where she does have a voice and she is, you know, somebody that people look to and she has a fan base. And I feel like with this particular, I mean, I'm from Atlanta. She's from North Carolina. Right. Her dad's a minister and she's pro-choice. And, you know, and I think it's, we've talked about it. And the argument here is not whether or not it's right or wrong. You know, nobody's saying that it's right, but what we're saying is it's not okay to tell women what to do with their bodies. It's none of your business. You know? And
especially when you see the voters, it's like, okay, sir. Yeah.
Well, let me just say this, and especially because I had some vodka. Like,
do it, girl.
Women cannot get pregnant alone. So you don't say. Yeah. You know, so it's like,
I hate how men can just walk away.
Where is the male's responsibility in this? Where, you know, how is it right? Because if you see all of this, except for that, like, old lady in Alabama, like, but, you know, most of the time, it's men dictating what women are doing with their bodies, and it's not okay. And, you know, and everybody thinks, oh, you know, it's low income women. You know, I know so many people that have gone through this, and let me tell you, the fact, if you have experienced it, it is punishment enough. There is not one person that I know that has gone through it and has been like, okay. It's so heart-wrenching and awful, and yes, it is a decision that you have to make where you're like aware of what you're doing, but also it's like, you know, it's your body, and are you, you know, what is the situation? Were you raped?
Was it inside? You know, it's a female's body, and it's something that we have to live with. And I think, you know, especially like people say like, oh, it's the Bible Belt of, you know, but it's like, okay, if you want to get technical.
Yeah, but there's a separation of church and state.
Right.
Like your religious beliefs about a soul or conception cannot be forced upon me. Like your choice to carry a baby with like a fatal defect to term and do perinatal hospice is your choice. And you mustn't force that on me.
Well, look at people from the 1500s that like burned people at the stake in the name of God, you know, like, so it's like, you know, I think people take scripture and they take stuff and they make it useful for whatever it is that they
it's
believe.
confirmation bias. You make it.
It's just
for
support.
you.
It's like I'm going to not support a woman's right to choose, but then a year later, where's that support? 2 years later, you know, if a child was brought in and it's in foster care or whatever, where's that?
And also the sanctity of life. When you live in a state with like the highest incarceration rate, you don't fund schools, art, social programs. You believe in the death penalty. Like, where's your sanctity of life? Like, you're not pro-life, you're pro-birth, and then it's done. And also, if I can just say this, and I mean, I'm sort of like on one right now, but like, corpses have more rights than women. You cannot make a dead person give their organs. Okay? You just can't. But yet, you can reach into a woman's body and be like, you will stay pregnant beyond your consent. It's baffling to me. Like if you needed a lung, the government can't say to me, he needs it. You got to give him yours.
I mean, it's literally so basically stupid.
It's amazing.
Why it's even talking about this.
It's just stunning, but it's happening, and so we have to really be on guard. And Casey's been really great about it. Also, TNT's been pretty dope about it.
It also helps that this show is founded on all these women going through so many different things.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we're going to have to do a little rapid fire.
I thought that was a real fire alarm. I got all scared.
It's from Star Trek Next Generation.
I was like, are we supposed to leave?
No.
You're like, is the bridge going to close down?
This is a fake fire drill, right?
All right, so we're just going to lighten things up a little bit because we know exactly where we should be standing.
Yes.
And the strength of this show is women on so many different storylines. Saving a marriage, going through abortion, going through what Niecy is with so many beautiful men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love that she gets to kiss all the hot men and, like, you have, like...
Kevin is totally hot. What are you talking about?
No, but when you had the affair...
With Hank, the rabbi, who's also totally hot? Okay. You're
he tried to kill you!
Well, it's true. He was a little crazy, but, you know,
I love that
the
scene,
crazy
by the way.
ones.
I was going to play the whole scene, but TNT would have blocked it. I loved that scene.
Which one?
When you were kidnapped?
Oh, when I was making the phone call to the pizza thing?
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Did
I
you
love that.
see that video I tagged you in of her singing?
Oh, yeah, we're playing.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's like, I'm getting there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, rapid fire. So we're going to lighten things up a little bit. Who was your first kiss?
It was a girl.
I love it.
Safer.
What was her name?
I will not say it.
Oh, 'cause she's back
She
in
has
the
like
town
a
of, like,
wife
forever.
and she has like a husband and a family in North
She said
Carolina.
wife first.
Secretly call in and be like, it was
said wife
me.
first.
I know. She's probably a secret lesbian.
Okay, who was your first kiss?
Oh gosh, I think his name was Robbie.
Robbie.
He died.
R.I.P. Robbie.
I know.
Let's send it up.
I know. I'm supposed to make things
Yeah,
lighter.
well,
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
well,
Keep moving.
Casey, you're failing.
Strangest place you've had relations.
Wait, what was the question again?
Strangest place you've had relations.
This makes you want to do the newlywed joke. You don't know that?
No.
They were in the newlywed game, like whatever, like there was like a big thing. And so they said the same thing. And the lady was like, in the butt. It's supposed to be like on the
With
veranda.
documents, though.
Yes. It's like, it's pretty famous.
He never had anything.
Listen. Laundry room? At like a,
That's
pretty
okay.
public laundry room.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not great. Okay.
Strangest place?
I feel like hers was like...
What do you think? She's about to blow our minds. She's about to be like Cirque du
she's
Soleil on the
I
trapeze.
really hope
No,
that
she was-
my
She's
parents
like at the
are not-
library while checking out War and Peace.
I'm going to take a pass on this one because
Oh,
I'm
God,
terrified
okay.
that my parents are
Sure.
Okay, biggest pet peeve that you have while on set?
Lack of being able to crack pistachios because I have nails on.
Oh.
I make Judy do it.
That's a good one.
Poor Judy. She like sits beside me and cracks little nuts for me. And she doesn't want to. She's like, I need to call my daughter. And I'm like, Judy, help me.
I love that. You have to audition for American Idol. What song is it that you're auditioning with? You have to. You just have to.
Oh,
I have to audition for American Idol?
The wizard said.
Oh man, I don't know.
Angel from Montgomery. I did that.
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
What about you?
What would you do?
Probably like Frank Sinatra.
I hate singing though. That was the part about like the New York aspect.
Oh,
of it.
sure.
I hate
They like want you to be a triple threat.
Yeah.
You
like
just
I
have
could carry
to.
a tune, but I'm not a singer by any
Sure.
means. And
I
I
auditioned-
used to get so nervous.
Yeah, I know.
I auditioned for Into the Woods. There was like a whole dance break, and I'm like, what are we doing?
You're like, I'm Jack.
And it's the opposite because like if you're not a dancer, then you like freak out. But I mean, like New York, they're like, you'll be like, it's like full on Emma Stone in La La Land. Like you're like
It's
singing,
crazy.
and they're like, thank you, and you're like,
No, it's
oh no,
ugly.
no, it's not. Thank you.
Those equity
you may
appointment
leave.
where you sign up
Yeah.
and then you go in, and they're like, "Do you have 16?"
I fell in the
bars.
trash can once on my way out
What?
the door. I did.
What do you mean you fell in it?
Like, because I was so nervous.
How large was the trash can, Casey? Not that you're large, but that trash can must have been massive.
It was like medium
Probably a
size.
paper bag that happened to be on the street.
I did. But I was like,
Those
thank-
auditions are so
I-
terrible, though. Who
I
went
was
16
so
bars?
nervous. I was so nervous.
I know.
It was so crazy. And then I auditioned for. I came so close to so many things, and then I went in for Dirty Dancing. I don't know how many times.
Sure.
And I was like,
You're perfect for
I mean,
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
I wasn't though. I read for Baby and for Penny, and I just like.
I know the girl who did Baby on the national tour.
Do you?
Yeah. You're a Penny. You're not a baby. Just let's get real.
But have you seen how tall I am? I mean, look at my legs. This is the reason I wear heels all the time.
What?
Penny,
You're very
you have-
tall to me.
No,
What?
Kurt's like, I saw how tall you were when you walked in.
it's fake.
You're V tall to me.
I'm fake
Very
tall.
FBI. Very, very sketchy.
Fake
Yes.
tall.
Yeah, we're going to find out.
You have to be tall to be
Kitchen.
Penny.
This whole process, I want to say, like, every time you ask me something, my life of service life makes me want to be like, what about you?
Yes.
But that's like real friendship. Like, I get starstruck, and the first time I met you, I got so starstruck because I'm such a fan of yours, especially watching Claws. It's so exciting to me that women are having this career. And as a gay man, diva, diva, diva. But then
Sure.
for you to walk into a room, can you put the hardware down?
What is this?
What is that?
Don't knock your head against
I've
it.
been looking at this
She's
the
like,
whole
yeah,
time.
well-
It's chip tooth.
Can people see this on camera?
No.
Look, everyone. What is this?
She said nothing. She said nothing.
What
It's just been a long day.
What
No,
is
but stop
that?
trying to
Oh.
deflect. I just want to ask you
No, but
questions.
like when you walk into a room and you feel like you've hung out with a celebrity all your life, or that we could grocery shopping and it to be amazing. Like,
First of all,
the feeling
that's how you
get
know
when
you're
shit-
friends is that you do errands together.
right?
Yeah.
But I think it's also a testament to the fact that you have worked every job to make this work. In fact, you did your audition for Claws, and then you had to go back to your shift.
Yeah, I went to the pizza shop.
Yeah. This is reality, and the fact that you're so open about that.
And everybody's like, what? So how did you feel about the script when you got it? And I was like, I wanted to do it because I wanted to stop working at the pizza shop. Like, what do you...
It's a TV script.
How did you get the job? And I'm like, I auditioned. It's crazy.
What was your first audition like?
Ever?
Claws or ever?
No, for Claws.
Oh, I went into Warner Brothers office with Meg Simon, who is retiring this year, and she is the fucking bomb. Meg Simon said to me my greatest advice ever in showbiz, because I would come in there. You don't understand the level of hayseed terrible I was. I would come in there with like a jaunty hat to like do a sitcom.
You're from a small town that's told this is what people do in
Right,
auditions.
and so like I would come and I would like wear a weird
I love you said
hat.
jaunty, by the way.
It was so jaunty, chapeau. And I would go in,
dying.
and Meg Simon would go, maybe let's lose the hat. And that is brilliant showbiz advice. It's not only about the hat, but also it's about like pulling back on other things because you don't want to put a hat on a hat, whatever. And Meg Simon believed him and kept calling me back, even though I wore weird hats. One time I petted an invisible dog in an audition.
I love it.
Because it said the character had a dog, it wasn't in that scene, and I kept sort of like looking over and doing stuff, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm dealing with a dog," and she was like, "I wish you wouldn't," and kept calling me back. And so when calls came around, she was like, "You should do. I mean, this will be great." So I came in, did that, went to the pizza shop. I was like, "No big deal. I never get anything Warner Brothers. I'm theater for life." And then when they told me I was going to get a chemistry test with Niecy, I was like, "What? Are you crazy?" And like I texted Meg from LA, and I was like, I think it went well, whatever. And so it was like the job of a life. This is the first time in this last 2 years that we've been shooting that I haven't also had a day job. This is the actor life that you want, where like you support yourself by acting.
You hear about.
Yeah, that one hears about. Yeah.
Now, with that growth also comes kind of, you have to leave things behind. You are very busy. You're not able to like hang out.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the time.
Yeah.
Not of anything else. You're not able to do smaller plays, smaller nonprofit events that ask you. There's that moment where you're like, this is where I'm at now. But there's also that kind of, is there any resistance from your older friends or jealousy or kind of loneliness?
Yeah, there's like this thing that happens where, like, I have a couple of friends that are like doing web series, and they're like, do you want to direct this? Do you want to produce it? And I'm like, I can't give it the bandwidth that it needs. If I was going to jump in and produce and direct, like, I can't, I'm not going to be here. I can't do it. And so, and then it makes you feel, because like I come from that world where you like create your own content, like whatever, you know.
But this is the entertainment world, and it's like,
I know.
You have to constantly keep like reinventing yourself and pushing and pushing.
Yeah,
and
then it makes you feel like you're such a dick.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I've actually got to go to LA and do press. You're like, I wish I could be with you.
I can't host game night at Shakey's tonight.
Also, that sounds great, though.
Oh, Mojo potatoes?
Honey, them potatoes.
So I just wrote something down because the minute you were talking about the chapeau, you need to be in Disney's live action as Bianca in The Rescuers.
Think I won't. I mean, that is a role that's made for me. And you're absolutely correct.
You can email that one, too.
It's a sort of a mice and an owl and a bird and a...
Yeah, but
she knows.
Zsa Zsa Gabor did the voice for the original.
She doesn't know, but she's about to know. She's going to know.
Well, Disney's doing all these
How do you feel about this live action
Have
Aladdin?
you ever thought about getting into casting?
I cast myself in every Mrs. Doubtfire, the reboot, I'll do it! Oh, Lord, look at her.
I think
that's good. It's a
no,
lilt.
I think you'd be great because you do have a good eye.
Because I used to direct black box theater in community situations. That was my first job.
Taxi!
Wait, 9 years of my life, though, were good paychecks by just casting.
I fucking get, like, when you say black box theater, I'm like, the first years of my life in New York, I was like in a half mask, like rolling apples up a ramp.
That's a pretty good estimation of black box
You know how it is.
Yeah.
But it like matters, man.
But you also have to pick the right person, and yeah.
Sure.
But Bianca and Rescuers.
Casey, we'll watch it. We'll watch it later.
Okay.
You guys probably don't even know it. But
I
Disney,
know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, perfect. But Disney, Disney's doing the old cartoon Rescue Rangers, and now we have Aladdin coming.
Listen
out
to this.
Friday.
Listen. Wait.
Yeah. Well, they're.
Can I
doing
sing a
that.
little bit of it?
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks, but these two gumshoes are picking up the slack. There's no case too big, no case too small. When you need help, just call Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. Guys,
Can we get some applause?
Love it.
I'm just saying, I'm on that Disney tip.
And
Love it.
Kurt pulled up a picture of Bianca. By the way, this is so you with
That
the
is
chapeau.
everything I've ever wanted to
I
be.
love it.
That's absolutely who I want to be in
We're
my
having
life.
lunch with her agents on Friday.
And we'll
I
talk
really
about
think
it,
that
Bianca.
you know,
This up.
because Disney is also doing the live action.
They're going to give it to goddamn Anne Hathaway.
I watched The Hustle with
She
one
can
eye
be.
open.
She can do
I
anything.
love Rebel Wilson, and I love what Anne Hathaway does for the LGBT community.
Sure, she can do anything. I've not seen The Hustle, but I'm just saying, like, it'll go to a bigger star. But the chapeau angle,
But I like the energy and everything. So we're going to talk about your musicality. We got to see in season 2 of Claws, and that's what I'm talking about. It was like, what? Now there's a musical number? Like, what is happening? And
we call it a Clausian moment, and when people ask us about it, we go, because we had to.
Claws.
Because
There
we
used to be a whole
had
lexicon,
to.
but the audience rolled with it. And I think like everybody that was watching it to be like, oh yeah, mafia, women kicking ass, are now like, oh, they're seeing different film genres that they're inspired by.
Yeah, there were some things that got cut this season.
Oh my God! One of the questions: any Claws cut scenes you wish stayed? This is literally from email.
So a Clausian
Like,
moment,
look, it's right here.
right? I see it.
Yep.
You're like,
look,
Mom,
it's
take a
proof."
letter. So we call them Clausian moments, right? Where it's like surreal and you're like, did that happen? Did it not? Were they having a dance off in the salon? Was there a water ballet? Like, is it real? Whatever. It doesn't matter because it exists in like that Florida noir world. But there was a scene that was cut this season with Jason and Carrie, and it was like a Casablanca moment where they were sort of like dealing with each other, but it was super Bogart and Bergman, and like it was everything, and it got cut, and I was like, oh. Because what I think is special about the closing moments is like not only is it a zoom out in a weird way, but that it introduces the audience to genres that they may not know.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't know synchronized swimming was a thing until they did a like giant water ballet, and then I was like, oh wait,
Esther Williams.
Esther Williams.
Yeah.
Like it's like I buried it in the back of my mind, and so, and this season there's a couple of Clausian moments that I think you guys will dig. It'll like.
Can you tell us anything about season 3? Because season 2 ended, I was like, what the hell just happened?
I know they're so guarded with everything she's
I'm
doing
like looking
here.
at Casey.
I know everything
It's
she's
usually
doing
because
here, like,
seasons are
pre-taped.
now having to end with like a nice bookend that if it doesn't get picked up, it's going to be okay for the fans, unless Kurt is crying over Game of Thrones.
Kurt, they gave you 8 good years.
I
Okay,
felt
you
that
know
way
how
about
hard it is
Harry
to make
Potter.
art.
I feel you.
You did, Casey?
I did.
Fucking nerd alert.
I have a wand.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't
All
have
right.
said that.
We should wrap this up.
Which one do you have?
Oh, Kurt's going to know.
Oh, okay.
Which
It's
one do you
Dumbledore.
have?
It's
Oh,
Dumbledore.
okay.
I knew it.
Well, now we know he's a homosexual that had graphic sex with Fantastic Beasts guy.
Wait, which guy? Oh, Ezra?
Oh,
Honey.
Ezra is...
He gives me my full and complete life.
Do you know I have never seen Game of Thrones?
I've never seen one episode either.
You haven't?
Nope.
I actually, okay, so I watched she hates us. She hates us. So I watched the first episode.
Oh, Kurt with the shade.
You guys, can I tell you, he usually falls asleep in the corner for all my other shows.
He's like Howard Sterning it over there.
I don't know what it is, but I'm going to use it. But
It's okay. He hasn't either.
They
It's
tried
okay.
to hurt a dog in the first episode, and so I was like, I can't watch it. Do you remember that? The wolf. I can't. I can't.
Hello, little girl. What's your rush?
No,
You're
just
missing all the fairies. It's Flowers by Chasing the Fairies.
Okay.
like the Lassie theme song makes me
I'm
cry. I
obsessed.
cannot. If they hurt a dog in it,
Yeah.
even if it's fake, I can't do
I'm
it.
the same way. Like in the battle scene, a couple of horses got fucked up, and Tage was like, "You realize this is?
It's
I mean,
fake.
people are being burned.
Yeah.
Children are being burned, and you're like, oh, the horns.
But
Yeah,
it's
I
like
know.
all the viral
I don't care about
videos-
the people. I only
Yeah.
care about the animals.
Yeah.
Like if a person got run over, I'd be like,
I
oh.
cried.
Yeah.
Babe,
But a
Pig in
dog,
the
I'd
City
cry.
too. I cried.
Wait, what? Babe in the City?
Pig
Babe,
in the City.
Babe
Part
the Pig
2.
movies.
Oh, Babe the Pig movie.
I cried,
Oh,
but you
I
could
cried
show me
too.
any other movie, and I'm like,
I mean, that's sad.
okay, but we're talking about musicality. We're gonna play a clip. Wow. We're doing so well. For
We're
our
like, but y'all
audience.
think about that pig though, and that goose.
No one eat bacon ever again.
Oh, that's not true.
But it does.
I had like a bacon sandwich made with bacon buns.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but talking about musicality, I love this clip TNT put out. It shows you guys hanging out, talking about the best of clips, and then we got to see a little bit of this musical. This clip just shows the chemistry behind the scenes. Kurt, go ahead and play it, please. Your hair! It's like, what the fuck?
Look how I receive it.
Casey.
Of course.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Get in there.
Thank you.
It's an anthem.
Good job. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
What I love. Okay.
He's so cute.
Claws. New season June 9th on TNT.
And it really is a beautiful song.
Thank you, Casey.
Beautiful song.
And I did get emails. You know,
Cinnamon gum. Anyone?
I'm
It'll make it your vodka taste like Fireball.
Oh, I want it.
Okay.
I just. Guys,
Thanks, Kurt.
We're so. I'm usually so like.
Really?
But let's talk about your sobriety journey. That will not happen
so
on my
juicy.
show. Stop it, Kurt.
That is too
That's
juicy,
for like
Kurt. No, thank you.
I'm a gay man. If I hear that,
Got honey.
I'm selling the house. Like
I'll like call you an Uber pool. You didn't even get it.
I left it was but sobriety
I
was.
have a question. First fart in front of a date.
I won't even answer that because I'm like you. It makes me like flushed. I won't talk about anything.
What do you do? Do you acknowledge it, or do you pretend like no one heard it?
I
Looking at you, kid.
I literally would like leave and like never.
I've been in a long term.
I literally thought you said I will lean, like it was.
Oh, now you're being
It's a
racist
thing.
because I'm Mexican and I eat beans and so
Guys.
like that's it. Okay, no.
Like,
I'm just saying, like,
I've been in an 8.5 year
chill.
relationship and we had to have a second bathroom. Just
I have two
Remember?
bathrooms too, but my
can't hear.
boyfriend and I shoot each other with fart guns.
No,
Like if he has a fart
I don't even
ready,
know what that means.
he'll like pull it up and be like, and I'll be like, no,
No.
don't do it. And he'll be like, "Brr," and I'll be like, whoa. But like we fart gun each. That's how long. It's been 13 years. We fart gun each other.
No, I thought we were gonna be friends. No,
Okay. All right. This is breeder talk. Okay.
Okay.
it's a straight guy thing.
Yeah.
Like they're so
Farting?
proud. Yeah, it's like so proud.
I think it's just.
It's so awful.
It's guys. It's fucking. What are you gonna do? Like
It is-
hold it
is
in?
not-
Like
well, it's not good. To
But
hold
also
it in.
his are-
It makes it worse if you hold it.
his
in.
are loud but not smelly, which is important. It's like they have pitch and
I literally can't even
resonance.
talk about this because my eyes are watering. I cannot.
You can't do farts.
I got
Guys.
so sick after a trip to Europe because we only had one bathroom.
One bathroom is. I mean, we have two bathrooms. It's a no go. But I think farts are funny. I will never not think farts are funny. I hope I get hit by a bus. And that's the last thing I ever say.
Alexander is very uncomfortable by farts.
I know.
I hate it so much. I'll be honest. Jen, from the chat room, Broadway role that you really, really want. Oh, that's a strong one. My God. We poured you
Man.
water, by the way.
That's tough. I mean, there's so many great sort of like classics in the canon, right? But like, I think I would want my Wish Broadway show to be like an original work, like something I got to originate and like work with the playwright. And
Okay, let's change this then, because I'm really curious about this question too. A role on Broadway that's not currently on Broadway.
that's the same answer to me. Like,
Wait, is it a play or musical?
Musical.
I mean,
Musical.
you know, Broadway has been sort of there's like this codification with Frozen and Mean Girls, and like it's not. I mean, they're great shows, and I love the people in them, but I yearn for like an outsider, rebellious musical like Hamilton was, like to come in and shake things up. Hadestown is fucking shit up right now, and it is a glorious musical. You got to check out the music. It's great. It started at like a New York Theater Workshop, and it's great.
Ellie Alvis says, give the people what they want, a full musical episode of Claus. I'm all for that,
Honey,
too.
I'm all for it. Also, all we do on set, we turn Carucci into what we call a Disney. Well, first of all, we
Does
call
everybody sing?
even if they don't, they love to
Talk
like
sing.
pronounce things
Yeah.
and talk
Yeah.
sing. And Carucci had like never seen a musical, and so she calls it a Disney kid because like she just didn't understand theater. And so like we would sing, we'd be like, "They're going tighter, how tight?" And we'd like do like a small musical
Yeah.
number, and she'd be like, "I'm a Disney kid," and we'd be like, "What are you
What does that
talking
mean?
about?"
Yeah.
But like that's how she perceives musical theater. But like now she's seen some shows. I took her to Les Mis in New Orleans.
That's a pretty big show to take.
It was a
somebody.
lot. It
It's
was a lot.
Did she like
And
it?
she was here for it in a way that like I didn't think she was going to be.
Maybe we should have started a little bit shorter.
Sure. But she had seen Hamilton, right? But then but it was coming to New Orleans, so she went to Les Mis, and we were sitting in the seats, and Carucci is consistently surprising. You think you know who this little girl is, right? You're like, I got you, I get it. And then she'll come out with something like, she like leaned over to me and she was like, so the Revolutionary War, the French War, like this is a part of what it's about, like this black. And I was like, you little demon, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you be like so smart and like hide it under a bushel?
But that's kind of what, like, her character, too, is always surprising. When you guys need her the most, she's always there. And her love with Harold took me by surprise. I'm like... And then a few episodes into, I'm like, okay, I see where she's coming from.
That shit fucking floored me. I will say, I mean, I know I'm like 3 drinks in, but I will say when like, okay. But when like Harold became...
I'm teasing. Oh.
She's what's up, Russian spy or whatever.
Yeah.
So when Harold was like becoming a stripper, like being sexually active, I think that there's a part of us that gets alarmist because we're like, want to protect his character. But like, to me, it was so dope because you've not gotten to see an autistic character be a fully realized sexual human being on screen. Like, they are defined by their autism. They're defined by their limitations.
Right, but he's a man with these needs, just like every other
Of
man
course.
has.
And so then he gets to be in a relationship, and like Virginia is seen for the first time by this man. Like, she's had tens of dozens
Millions.
of other dudes that like didn't see her, and then this guy
That's why it clicked.
sees her.
It took a few episodes.
Yes.
I was like, and then it worked. And then it's Claws is so interesting because it's not like mainstream TV. It's like, we're going to give you everything you expect because you want it.
Sure.
Right.
We're going to make you guess. You don't know where we're going. This last season was, what the hell?
We don't know where it's going. I mean, that shit is crazy.
This show is comprised of women and men, you know, of all shapes, colors, and sizes, and it's so well written, and it's such a good show, and it really, you know, I'm so proud to work with her and to be able to like publicize. But I really wish that people would. I mean, I know that there's those like, you know, those shows on like the HBOs and the Showtimes and the Netflix.
Even the way she says the HBO.
Yeah, we
she
love
runs
those.
it together.
But you know, like, don't forget, like TNT puts out some really good content.
Yeah,
they really do.
Ellen Barkin, if she were to do a little come over on Claws.
Ellen Barkin. Let me say something about Ellen Barkin. We were at Upfronts not this year, but last year, and Animal Kingdom was there, and the Upfronts that year got significantly more urban. I think it was like a movement, right? So all of a sudden we had Tiffany Haddish. We had motherfucking Snoop Dogg came out. There was like fog, and all of a sudden there was Snoop Dogg, and we were like, and he was like getting funky on the mic like an old batch of collard greens, and we looked over to Ellen Barkin, and Ellen Barkin was saying every word to like, la-di-da-di, we likes to party, we don't cause trouble, we don't bother nobody. And like, we were like clocking her. We were like, oh, you know them words, but what about the other words? And she was doing all the words. And we were like, Ellen Barkin, you surprising asshole.
I think TNT is doing different work. They're doing rehearsals. They're thinking about the future of a show, not just like today, refresh today.
Right.
They're thinking about something way in advance.
I hope so. I think so too. I hope so.
I saw that with The Alienist. Like,
yes.
Because
that shit is the bomb.
Yeah,
Was it the biggest hit? No.
Who fucking cares though?
Well, it was a little dark. It was dark, and
who cares if it's the biggest hit? Like, exactly.
But
like,
let me tell you, I went to that premiere. That was the best premiere I've ever.
Who'd you take?
It was one of my clients. It was Patrick.
Patrick Gilmore. We love Patrick Gilmore.
Yeah. So we went, and I mean, they literally took Paramount and they turned it into like that town, and you know, it was that part of New York in the 1920s. I mean, they literally recreated it. They had people with horse and carriage. I mean, it was literally like they're just totally like kind of reconfiguring everything. And I remember I ran into Scott Radloff. Shout out to Scott Radloff.
Scott Radloff forever.
We love him. But I ran into him there, and I was like, this is such a great show, and I can't believe that this is TNT. And he was like, yeah, it was actually shopped around, I think, to like Showtime.
Sure.
Almost
it's like
took
VV,
it.
HBO,
Yeah,
VV, Showtime.
and they took it. So, I mean,
TNT taking
say
risk, man.
They are taking risks, and I love that about the
They're
networks.
getting a lot of attention, and I love that.
Yeah, the ABCs, the NBC, I mean, they're very like, you know, you have your cookie cutter shows.
And I'll be honest, when FX said they're doing Fosse Verdun, I'm like, it's going to be this. So that's how we're...
You had an expectation of like what you
I just
thought
think
it
you
would be.
can't produce too much too fast.
Yeah.
Just like the Marvel films.
I'm so behind. I'm I'm sorry, comic book nerds. I'm one of you. and I'm so behind.
Okay, we have to wrap up because Kurt has to go home to his wife.
Kurt,
Kurt,
you got a wife up in this piece?
Oh, they have an amazing relationship.
Kurt, I thought you were legitimately 16.
No, 34.
Wow,
Yeah,
Kurt. Do you moisturize?
he moisturizes.
Gee,
With
he doesn't.
Dungeons and Dragons cards or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I want to... Are you okay?
I think my phone died. I don't know. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, fine.
So, just real fast. St. George. That was also like a big hit.
It wasn't.
What I'm saying, like when it first hit the market, George Lopez, Danny Trejo. Number one, I want to talk about being the white girl on set. Because George Lopez has a big personality, Danny Trejo has a big personality, and then having this skinny blonde girl try to be funny, and then you nailed it.
That's gorgeous. Thank you for saying that. And also, like, I was in the midst of a really terrible eating disorder. Like, I was like super sick. But also George, like, I would want to pitch an alt line, and he would know I wanted to pitch it, but he knew I didn't have this like the strength of the courage to pitch it because like it was so early on in my career. And he would like lean over to me and be like, "What do you want to say?" And I'd be like, "I think that she should do this. And he'd be like, "I'll pitch it." And like come back to me, and then I would get to do it. And then the real test was like episode 3. My character had to do like a Mexicans in a parking lot accent, and he like wrote it for me. He was like, "I want Mackenzie, my character, to do what she thinks Mexican dudes sound like at a parking lot when they should be like at the party of your kid and like whatever."
That's so dangerous. That's almost a setup.
VV. But also I'm a comedian, and like I will say in this forum that like comedians get to say the things that we don't get to say, man.
Yeah.
They used
And
to.
like Chris D'Elia, motherfucking Chris Rock. There's a lot of great comedians that Tom Segura, you don't have to apologize. You can say, I'm not talking about actions. Actions are different. But what the shit you say on stage, it's comedy. I like want to start a hashtag that's like, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Email that one too. But it's serious. We've had this conversation. We've had comedians from the Comedy Store. We've had comedians from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
This is how comedians started.
Right.
We can't be afraid.
No, you
every
mustn't be
time.
afraid. You mustn't be afraid. And you mustn't apologize. Like, I understand that, like, old material, you can be like, I've grown since then. I wouldn't do those same jokes. But even trying out material, it makes me want to tell the general population, like, you do it. You stand up and try to say truths and try to be like the poets and the dreamers and like do that thing. Like, it is extraordinarily difficult. And I think comedians occupy a space that is sacred. So when we're like, it's too sacred, I think they should push back and be like, go fuck yourself. Nothing's sacred. Chris Rock will not apologize. Chris D'Elia will not apologize. Like, I think it's important. And I understand if it's like a super terrible joke from your past or like what Roseanne did or whatever, like there is a accountability that needs to be laid. But
I would love to bring this up because it's like a whole other show. Kevin Hart for the Oscars.
right. Kevin Hart,
I'm from the LGBT community.
sure. And so,
We
wait,
need,
how
like,
much time do we
another
have?
hour. We actually don't.
Okay. We'll talk about it off the record.
Isn't this your show? Can't we just extend it?
No, but Kurt has to go home to his wife.
Kurt, she doesn't
can
even
we
like
extend
him.
a little bit? Okay.
Okay,
But real fast, I want to talk about the joy that Jenn had on set with George Lopez. Let's take a look at one of the bloopers.
Oh my God.
So Harper has a bassoon lesson today, and guess what he left at my house?
This is so funny.
The bassoon?
Yeah.
Casey, look,
We don't-
this is so funny.
I don't think you did it on purpose, do you?
No, Mac, you know what? Every teenage boy wants to play an instrument that sounds like a fart.
We talked.
Time for my son's solo. Hey, Dad, turn around.
It was so funny. Look at your face. So funny.
George! I feel like schools are desperate for...
Guys can't even keep it together.
That's so fucked up.
That
We
was,
love farts. Me and George.
I don't though.
I fucking love it.
But
It's
that was
okay.
funny. But you saw the connection that you had.
I just do have it with him too. Like George was like a seasoned professional, and I was coming in like hot, hayseed hot. And he like cradled me and loved me, and just in a non-sexual way. Like, I feel like that dude, it could have been a Me Too moment. That dude could have been like, listen, we're here together, we're doing this. And he was the opposite. He was like, let's go to this Eagles concert. And like, I'd get like 2 drinks in, and he'd be like, let's get you out of here, dummy. Like, he was brilliant. Danny Trejo was great. David Zayas, Olga Meredes, like all the people were.
And that's so Latino heavy, you know?
Soup's Latino. But there was a backlash about the Latino heaviness of it. They were like, oh, we've seen the Latino versus the white lady versus the whatever. Like, it was rough.
But that clip shows you, like, what was happening on set. So we have to talk about what happened on the set of St. George, if you don't mind. The eating disorder.
Oh, of course, yes.
You want me to lead it so you're not like, oh, well, let me just talk about this?
Yeah, give it a go.
You were so skinny on that.
Yeah.
And we get into the sitcom reality where the husband can look however he wants, and that's still happening on sitcom life.
Yeah.
You walk in and you're like, the pretty girl, so skinny. And I know that's when began your...
Well, it was interesting. Like, I was doing theater and stuff in New York, and I said to myself, I was like, I wonder how small I have to get to do film and TV, because I knew I was too big. I was going on film and TV auditions, but I was too big. But in theater, you have to like take up space, right? So I was like, how small do I have to get? And I got extraordinarily small. I mean, I was wearing like a 0 to a 2. And so people would be like, you know what's great about you? You have curves. And I was like, what are you talking about? So like, it was a hard time in my life because I never would have booked those jobs if I didn't look the way I looked.
Because you did an interview where you said after you went to rehab, you booked something.
I think I wouldn't have booked it if I didn't have a history of other stuff underneath my belt. Like, I got small, got some jobs, like did the love interest, like did the thing, like proved myself. I don't think I would have gotten it if I was just fresh out the gate at that size. And it's what I believe. I mean, it's rough for women. It's rough. And like Lizzo, like her album I have on heavy repeat because she's so body positive and everything. But like, I have a photo shoot tomorrow, and I would like to say to everyone out there, like, I don't give a motherfuck. Like, I'm gonna drink. I'm gonna like eat a taco salad with the shell.
Yeah, where are we gonna
12,
go eat after
15,
this?
whatever.
Smokehouse has the best garlic bread we've ever heard about.
But the truth is, like, it plagues me for weeks leading up to it.
So I really want you to send this message out because this is the reality. Because you've been on record about being body positive.
Yeah.
We can be body positive all we want, but this is still a reality.
It's body positive, but you're still like, I'm gonna be too big. I'm gonna be too much. I'm gonna
It's
be.
also how you take pictures, like how you feel comfortable.
I
with
know,
yourself.
but like you had lost a bunch of weight, which like I didn't want to comment on, cause
my viewers are like, because they don't see me here.
I know, but he looks great. But also, like, I went to eating
But
disorder
I look good
rehab.
when I'm fat too.
Exactly.
I look like Alfred Hitchcock. I'm gonna do an amazing film.
But I'm saying, like,
Let me just say.
Oh, Casey, take it.
The publicist is coming in.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes that she has given in an interview, and just to kind of summarize it, but the aspiration to be thin is about female obedience. It is an image that is painted by the media through airbrushing, through sample sizes only being offered in a certain size.
Honey, they're fucking trying to get dressed for a motherfucking carpet, and they don't go above like a 4, and you're like, I'm a 14, 16. Like, what is out there for me?
It is not. Again, and in talking about a woman's right to choose, people trying to dictate what happens with a woman's body, what you do with your body. It kind of, segues over into that too. I am so sick of, and I'm in this business and I have to have the relationships with the editors, but I'm so sick of people trying to dictate what they think is beautiful, and I have found that even through pitching, there are so many people. And one of the things I'm so grateful about in like being from Atlanta, like I was born in Miami, I was raised in Atlanta, and then I left home when I was 18. I went to school in North Carolina. Then I lived in New York, which was like the most rewarding experience I could have ever had. And then
New York is the
here.
fucking bomb.
Yeah. And let me tell you,
I think it's actually more.
There's so much culture
They
there.
want you to have a cough and a limp. Like
Yeah.
you go into an audition and like the difference between motherfucking Law and Order in LA and Law and Order in New York, like I was supposed to play, I'm gonna get in trouble. I don't give a fuck.
Law and Order is my like.
It's everything I've ever wanted and I haven't been on it. I'm like, I'll be a dead body.
What,
Whatever.
you want to be on Law and Order?
No. Remember she was talking about being a
Another
lawyer,
email.
but she needs to be the lawyer that's like.
But listen, I had an audition in LA to play like, a nun who had been sexually assaulted and like drug out of a lake. So I went to the audition. It was like a pilot season, sort of wet. I was like, I'm a wet nun with no makeup. They called my representation and they were like, she looks sick. What's going on? My representation was like, come back, do your hair, come back, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, for what? I'm playing a woman a nun that has been like assaulted and just dragged out of what are we doing? In New York, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't give a shit about like LA, New York things.
But
like,
a lot of actors do. And I'm glad that you're being honest
but
about
also
that.
LA geographically is so much better. It's just better. And there's more opportunities here and the weather is nicer. New York is a real kick in the dick and everything's hard.
Yeah, but here's the thing is like now you've made this career living over there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that most people are bi-coastal now. I mean, I think that.
Are you bi, Jenn Lyon? TMC, are you listening? She's bi.
She's a bi.
I think you know.
Yeah, but yeah, I think most people try. I mean, like actors these days, you're in like Vancouver, you're in Atlanta, you film all over the place.
Yeah.
You go where the work goes. But I just think that I just wish even from an editorial standpoint, I mean, the industry as far as television and film is starting to change, and they're starting to embrace diversity more and ethnicity and curves and shapes and sizes. Editorial is like a little bit
Editorial's
behind.
not following that.
And that,
Honey, they're
I have
like,
to say-
we have 2 paper towels and a staple to give you. But also, like, I want to say, wait, go ahead. It's your show. It's your show. I just gave myself a tiny little, because I want to
Finish
say.
what you're saying. Are you kidding? I'm going to tell Jenn Lyon to stop talking.
Well, you're talking about, like, the different places you can, like, sort of, like, do your craft and, like, whatever. And, like, what I say to you, like, when I heard where you're appearing next, there is a conspicuous lack of rest.
Okay, Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, my God.
I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
not Ryan Seacrest.
I'm just
I am
saying,
funny
like,
and have a personality.
no, exactly. You're like so gorgeous, but what I worry about is because I'm like a funny girl and I do things and like whatever. But when I am denied a respite, what happens, man? Like there's a myth of scarcity that like if you aren't there, everything's gonna be bad. But like, what if you like took a couple of days?
Okay, well, actually, God, we have to end the show. But there was also like,
I know.
Wait,
We
wait,
gotta
wait.
go to the steakhouse.
No, but there's like you worked doing Broadway, off Broadway. Then you were like on Justified, and then it was like, okay, St. George. When do you think that you're finally like, okay, I've made it to this point? Because there comes that point that it's like you just working. It's like, you want me to audition for what?
Never. I'm still not at an offer only. Like, I remember when I was asking Carrie, like, for a season, I was like, what was your audition like? And she was like, bitch, I'm offer. Like, there wasn't an audition. Like, I'm offer only.
Carrie
Like,
Preston came off of True Blood.
and Good Wife. Like, she won an Emmy for it. She don't got an audition for nothing.
But it's funny because her character is so twisted from that.
Yeah.
I will say this.
She's not playing it safe.
As a representative, as somebody who's been on both sides, There is never a moment where you can rest and say, I've
Never.
made it.
Never.
I totally agree.
There is never a moment.
I remember my first Broadway show, I was like, I've arrived. And then I was like in a
You
grocery
have-
store in Long Island
But
City.
even being like the lead of a Broadway show is not gonna.
No.
You
make your
have to
life.
continue to keep reinventing yourself and pushing yourself.
Yeah.
You've never arrived. If
I'm good friends with Joanna Cassidy, Golden Globe winner, 6 Feet Under, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Blade Runner.
Honey,
And
yes.
she's like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing this. Okay, we have to end the show.
Okay.
You
all right.
guys.
Sorry, Kurt.
But we literally,
Shit.
like, we just hung out as friends.
I'm
was
like
fun.
going to ask to take this to the steakhouse.
I need to eat because I'm drunk and I can't drive home.
I never.
I didn't Uber.
Okay,
How dare you?
here's what I'm saying. I love you so much, you guys. Rapid fire. Kurt, can we have the red alert, even though we haven't earned it? Poor Kurt. He's going to charge me double.
Do I have to do rapid fire too, or is it just her?
Yes, no, I have yours.
I should put the vodka down.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
Her.
the
Oh,
title
nuts.
of these pepitas.
Look, she has nuts in a bag.
Oh,
They're green nuts. I don't want
nuts.
green nuts.
It's pepitas. It's Latin for pumpkin seeds.
Why?
Guys,
Why are you eating those?
I don't know. Like, keep them in there.
Okay, who wants to go first? We
Okay,
have to
all
go.
right. Casey.
Oh, no.
Casey, celebrity. Okay, here's what we have to do. A celebrity runs over the president's dog with a car. What would your spin be?
I would tell them to own it because don't deny it. And then I would probably utilize my FBI contacts.
She's lying right now.
No, it's so good, though. She's right.
It would depend on how bad it was. I
I'd
would
call
have to know
Barbara
every
Streisand. I'd be like, who's your
circumstance.
cloner? Let's clone that. Let's do this.
I mean, because if you run over the president's dog, the Secret Service. I mean, doesn't the president's dog have Secret Service?
Yeah, but like, what would the
Absolutely.
title be?
Oh, it's about the title?
Like the spin would be like, celebrity chooses political. Like what?
President's dog runs out in front of car.
Honey, that's how she does it.
Boop, boop.
That's why she gets paid the medium bucks.
Biggest pet peeve when dealing with celebs. Close your ears.
Oh, no, she knows this. It's okay. And she doesn't do it. Repeating myself and clients not trusting me.
Yeah. Favorite celebrity meeting
You don't do
experience.
that. You listen. Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Favorite celebrity meeting experience.
Celebrity meeting experience?
So,
When I was little, Dolly Parton.
what would the name of your reality show be?
Momentum.
G? That's just the G of OMG.
It'd
It's
be
just
picked up by
God.
National Geographic. You have to represent a celebrity that is no longer with us for the rest of your life. Who is that?
If you don't say Tupac.
Elizabeth Montgomery from
Okay.
Bewitched.
Honey.
We have to talk about
No,
my
that's-
connection with her, by the way.
Off the
You
record.
really don't know. Like, we have to talk.
Okay.
She was in one of the first West Hollywood Pride parades ever.
What?
I love her so much.
Yeah.
She's special.
Okay, keep going.
She is a special
Oh,
motherfucker.
so you're done.
Oh.
Casey, tell our viewers and followers where they can follow you, even though it's all blocked.
It's not blocked. If you're special, I'll accept you. I don't know what my Facebook is. I don't have a Twitter, but I know my Instagram. Don't spit out your
True
podcast.
spit take.
It's KCJ_728.
I'm in love with these girls.
KASEY, the letter J _728.
It's already so much, Casey.
And if you're special, I'll accept you. It's fine.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's like
These-
a moat around a drawbridge.
These people at this table, well, Kurt, you haven't tried, but they're accepted. They're
Sure.
All right.
I'm
Jen.
accepting.
Okay. We have to hurry up. We
Okay,
literally have to
sorry.
hurry up. Kurt is like, ah. Okay. Jenn Lyon. Worst of your non-acting jobs.
Exit Sign Factory.
Did you have to spin a sign?
I worked at an exit sign factory for a part of a summer, like connecting tubes in an exit sign factory. I got kicked out of school. It's fine. Go ahead.
Huh.
It's a
Wow.
lot. It's,
If
people
you
have-
were open to, if you were going to open your own nail salon, what would the nail salon name be?
Oh, well, we talked about a sort of like a sex line earlier. It would be Wet Fox, but 2 T's and 2 X's.
Ooh, I would go there.
Wet Fox, get in there. It's like
She'd go in
feral.
like- yeah.
It's like feral, but it's also like classy. It's not any of those things. It's
Feral and classy.
Go ahead.
So when I wrote this question down, I thought lying to your boyfriend is what I would give to you.
That'd be the title of my salon.
Lying, because that's your last name.
Lying to your boyfriend.
To your boyfriend.
Your strangest habit. Like, literally, that even Karuche, like, not even Nisi has seen. Like, what's your strangest habit?
Strangest? I mean...
That you're like, oh, glad they didn't see that.
I mean, they know a lot of them. Like, I got my teeth whitened the other day because I was like, I'm going to do it. But it's because sometimes when I lay in bed at night, this is gross.
Oh, okay.
It's because I'll have a taste in my mouth that I kind of like. I'm like, sort of a tuna salad night, and I won't get up and brush my teeth at the night.
Because you just want to keep tasting.
I just want to keep tasting that
Tuna
thing
salad?
and not the mint thing.
Every deli is
Whatever. It doesn't have to be tuna salad. It could be like a fucking burrito bowl, whatever.
I can understand.
It could be a crab cake, but like you want to lay in bed and keep tasting that thing, and you don't get up and do the minty.
I would rather.
I don't
have tuna
even want to
salad.
taste the boy from.
Listen, you don't even care about her, so it's okay.
One character you played that you would go gay for. This is a good question. This is not mine. This is from email. A female.
If you're familiar with the show Born Yesterday, Billy Dawn was played by Judy Holliday. She won the Oscar and the Tony for it.
We actually have some. You were like old fashioned.
Yeah, super.
I can't ask her to find that because it's
fine.
Every
it's
old
like
fashioned.
but it
picture.
is. It is a role that like you should be so lucky. Like you should watch the old movie, Billie Holiday. Like she does stuff. It's called Born Yesterday, and like she does stuff that like women nowadays like cling on to. Like the guy she likes, who's like been teaching her smarts from the steps of the Washington Monument, says like, "What flavor do you want for a popsicle?" And she yells in a voice that is so large and crazy. She's like, anything but Tutti Frutti. It's like you want to be pleasing and like whatever, but like this bitch is like she has no qualms about it. And I just Billy Dawn, Garson Kanan, Born Yesterday, absolutely.
Kiss, Marry, Kill.
Oh my god,
okay. Kevin Rankin, Jason Antoon, Harold Perrineau. Yeah, we did that. Sorry. Kiss, marry, kill. Kevin Rankin.
I have to marry Kevin. He's my true match. I have to kiss Harold. And Jason will understand that I must murder him.
Yeah.
He knows.
You guys, can we get some applause for this show?
He's like,
Jen, tell our viewers and listeners where they can find you.
Oh, wait. Me?
Yes.
I'm on Instagram at the Jenn Lyon, TheJennLyon. Twitter, is it the same case?
The Jenn Lyon.
This is how much I. It's the Jenn Lyon also.
Jen with 2 N's.
Jen with 2 N's. Facebook, it's any abortion post you see. It's happening. So I'm just saying.
Actually, your Facebook is not happening.
It's not?
No.
No, my Jenn Lyon Facebook? It's like my little profile with my dog and me.
Yeah, but it's you personally.
Wait, what am I supposed to have?
Nobody cares about Facebook anymore, I feel like.
Thank you so much for
Sometimes.
Facebook Live.
All right.
A big thank you for my guest today, my guest co-host, Casey Kitchen, Kurt, our engineer, Mama Rose in the chat room, here TV. You're supposed to watch us on Facebook.
Well,
Share us, tweet us, DM us.
Facebook
On the
Live is
Rocks, on air,
different.
Facebook on the Rocks Radio Show. Coming up, we have Billboard charting artist. Oh my God, you guys got me drunk. This is
first
not
of all,
fun.
We're going to take you to eat after.
Debbie Holiday.
3 drinks, and he said billboarding.
That's like a straight man line. Billboard charting artist Debbie Holiday, comedian Judy Tenuta.
Judy Tenuta!
She's coming.
Oh my God, she is fucking pivotal in my comedic upbringing.
Then you
she
need to
spit the
Skype
gum.
in.
She like did the thing.
Then you need to Skype in. American Horror Story, Naima Grossman, and ABC 7's On the Red Carpets, Carl Schmidt. On the Rocks is the place to be every week. See you next Tuesday. This has been On the Rocks with Alexander, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network. Find me on Facebook on The Rocks Radio Show. Tweet me or Instagram me at On The Rocks On Air. See you next Tuesday!